Chapter 1657. Under the dusky sky, the land was vast and the mountain range was undulating. A faint layer of mist permeated the air. Roar! A powerful beastly roar came from the mountain range, shaking the earth and startling a flock of birds. However, these birds looked very strange. They didn't have any flesh and blood. Only black skeletons were left. Their skeletal wings flapped, emitting a rhythmic sound. In the eyes of these birds, specks of black light flickered, looking very strange. Rumble! An ancient tree in the distance exploded, and a saber-toothed tiger over 100 feet tall rushed out from it. It also had no flesh on its body, leaving only green bones. Green light flickered in its deep eye sockets, and its huge saber-toothed teeth flickered with cold light, appearing incomparably sharp. Behind the saber-toothed tiger, there was a huge green snake that was dozens of feet long. It also only had green skeletons left. It opened its huge mouth and bit towards the saber-toothed tiger, its teeth flashing with a cold light. The battle between the saber-toothed tiger and the huge green snake broke the peace of this land. Towering ancient trees were shattered, and rocks flew everywhere. The scene was very shocking. Many demon beast skeletons in the surroundings all stood up. There were black skeletons, green skeletons, and even silver skeletons. There were only white skeletons left, without any flesh or blood. Some of them held huge ancient swords, while others held stone shields. Because of the battle between the saber-toothed tiger and the huge green snake, it also caused a chaotic battle between them. A 9 feet tall human-shaped skeleton that was originally lying on the withered leaves suddenly sat up. 2 purple lights flickered in its eye sockets, looking very strange. He stared at the battle between the saber-toothed tiger and the huge green snake in a daze. No one knew what he was thinking. Gotcha! Suddenly, the sound of something tearing through the air was heard. It was a huge bone blade that instantly chopped off his head. A huge human-shaped skeleton that was dozens of feet tall walked towards him, its eyes flashing with a black light. Then it reached out and grabbed the 2 purple lights in his eye sockets. The purple lights were dazzling, like 2 purple divine suns that flowed with some kind of immortal fluctuation. The huge human-shaped skeleton grabbed them and sent them towards his forehead. Boom! A blazing light burst out, and the purple light burned like a raging flame, and instantly burned the huge human-shaped skeleton to ashes. After the black light in the eye sockets of the huge human-shaped skeleton was absorbed by the purple light, the purple light became even brighter. Then the 2 balls of purple light flew back into the eye sockets of the skull. Rays of light flowed, and the skull and the body slowly merged into one. A vast amount of power bloomed. Who am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going? The forehead of the human-shaped skeleton glowed faintly, as if some kind of scattered consciousness was beginning to awaken. Rumble! In the next moment he stood up from the ground. Purple light permeated around his body, causing his black bones to exude a majestic and mysterious aura. His sunken eyes instantly lit up. I want a tribulation seed. Crackling sounds came from the human-shaped skeleton's body, and a strange wave seemed to come out of its mouth. A purple light shrouded it, making it emit an incomparably mysterious aura. Boom! The purple light illuminated the surroundings, and the surrounding skeletons immediately sensed its existence. At this moment, whether it was the human-shaped skeletons, the beast-shaped skeletons, the bird-shaped skeletons, or even the saber-toothed tiger and the huge black snake that were fighting, they all stopped. And then they all pounced towards the human-shaped skeleton that was emitting purple light. You're courting death. A cold wave was released, and in an instant, a purple divine sun rose. Rays of purple light filled the air, forming a huge purple whirlpool. It swallowed all the light in the eye sockets of the skeletons. In an instant, rays of light, black, green, and silver, were all swallowed by the purple whirlpool like fireflies. The human-shaped skeleton was originally black in color, but at this moment, as the resplendent light was devoured, its bones began to turn a bronze color. It exuded a heavy and ancient aura, and even its bones had become much thicker. I am Ling Xiao. This is the inner world of the flipping sky seal. The human-shaped skeleton stood up, and the purple light in its eye sockets emitted a spiritual glow. It was as if a dusty memory had been unlocked, and the human-shaped skeleton instantly remembered everything. This was the inner world of the flipping sky seal. After the 9 great inheritors entered this world, they disappeared without a trace. Ling Xiao seemed to have fallen into an eternal slumber, and his consciousness seemed to have sunk into endless darkness. It wasn't until the huge human-shaped skeleton tried to devour his indestructible calamity seed that his consciousness was awakened. He woke up from his slumber and remembered who he was. This world contains an endless amount of tribulation qi. At the same time, it also contains an aura of death. There is no life at all. How did I become like this? Ling Xiao stood up. He felt that he had become a human-shaped skeleton, and he was not used to it at all. The heavenly Tao laws in this world are completely different. I can only rely on the tribulation seed's power. Only by swallowing more tribulation seeds can I continue to advance. Now, am I just a small bronze skeleton? Ling Xiao thought to himself as he sensed the world around him. His primordial spirit, Godhead, and everything else was trapped in the purple tribulation seed. Now the seed was the source of Ling Xiao's power. After swallowing so many skeletons' tribulation seeds, Ling Xiao understood the origin of this place and the levels of these skeletons from their scattered memories. This place could be called a land of death. This world was like hell for the dead. The weakest skeletons were naturally the black iron skeletons, followed by the bronze skeletons, the silver skeletons, and the gold skeletons. When Ling Xiao had first awakened, he had been a black iron skeleton. However, after the tribulation seed had absorbed the tribulation qi and tribulation seeds of the skeletons around him, he had advanced to a bronze skeleton. Bronze skeletons were still very weak, but they could protect themselves to a certain extent. These skeletons were easy to distinguish. The black iron skeletons had black bones, and the tribulation seeds in their eye sockets were black. The bronze skeletons had green bones, and the tribulation seeds in their eye sockets were green. However, Ling Xiao's appearance was the most peculiar. He was a bronze skeleton now, but his tribulation seed was purple. The Great Elder has always said that only by condensing the tribulation seed will there be hope of controlling the flipping sky seal. Could it be that he is referring to this situation? Chapter 1658. This world was filled with endless calamity energy and death energy. These skeletons could be called dead spirit creatures. They advanced and broke through by absorbing the calamity energy and death energy. Their calamity seeds were the source of their power. My indestructible calamity seed is purple. Is it because its level is higher than theirs, so it can advance by devouring the calamity seeds? There was a hint of understanding in Ling Xiao's heart. He was not in a hurry to take action after coming to this strange world. Instead, he tried to analyze his current situation based on what he knew and find the most advantageous path. No matter where he went, Ling Xiao knew that strength was the foundation. Even in this land of death, he had to obtain enough strength to survive. Ling Xiao did not even know if he had entered this world with his real body, or if he had entered a place similar to an illusion. If he had entered with his real body and died here, he would have died for real. Therefore, Ling Xiao tried his best to be cautious. Swoosh! Ling Xiao grabbed the huge bone sword of the human-shaped skeleton. It was taller than his body and very heavy. He held it with both hands and swung it a few times. It looked quite imposing. Although I don't know how to control the flipping sky seal, the most important thing now is to improve my strength. Zhan Tianqing and the others are probably in this world. If I'm not wrong, Zhan Tianqing is probably in the same state as me. If I can find a chance to get rid of him, that would be the best. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Of the 9 great inheritors, the biggest threat was naturally Zhan Tianqing. He had the bloodline of the battle clan, so he didn't know how big of an advantage he would have in this world. But he could imagine that he would have an advantage. Ling Xiao had learned about all the people who had received the inheritance from the War God Temple. They had all tried to control the flipping sky seal. Although they had all failed, their memories of the process of receiving the inheritance had all disappeared completely. They had no recollection of what had happened. Ling Xiao guessed that they had probably also entered this land of death, but for some reason, their memories of what had happened here had all been sealed or erased. Ling Xiao did not want his memories to be erased, and he had to leave after failing. Therefore, he had to improve his strength as much as possible. and then find a way to control the flipping sky seal. Crack! Ling Xiao grabbed the huge bone sword and walked into the depths of the forest. The ground was covered with broken bones and branches. His feet made crisp sounds as he stepped on them. The purple calamity seed in Ling Xiao's eye sockets was like a bright lamp. The skeletons around him, whether they were black iron skeletons, bronze skeletons, or silver skeletons, they all pounced on him. When Ling Xiao used the bone blade to cast mortal martial arts, it was extremely powerful. It was ferocious and powerful. It killed the skeletons that did not have any order before devouring the tribulation seeds in their eye sockets. And Ling Xiao's body, Ling Xiao's qi, his bones, was 10 times stronger than before. Xiao's, Ling. His bones were. The bones in his body glowed with a silver-white radiance, looking incomparably sharp. Moreover, the bones in his body had become complete, making his strength even more powerful. Even the silver skeletons could not last more than 3 moves. They were all killed by him. Ling Xiao could sense that these black iron skeletons, bronze skeletons, and silver skeletons could only be considered low-level creatures. They didn't have any consciousness or intelligence at all, so they didn't have any strategy when fighting. They only had some instincts. Killing them was as easy as chopping vegetables for Ling Xiao. Is that a king? Ling Xiao could feel that there was a powerful aura in the center of this land. It was radiating a resplendent golden light, as dazzling as the sun. It was located in the center of the valley, and its aura was majestic and mysterious. A golden skeleton. This was the most powerful skeleton in this land. It was also the king of all the skeletons. I want to break through to the golden skeleton realm. Killing these ordinary skeletons is useless. It's just a drop in the bucket. If I can kill this golden skeleton, I might be able to break through again. Ling Xiao thought to himself. He grabbed the huge bone sword and walked into the valley. Boom. In the valley, there was a golden mantis skeleton with its head held high. 2 balls of golden flames were emitting a blazing divine light, and it seemed to be flowing with a spiritual luster. It had 2 golden praying mantis blades. It was dazzling. There were many bronze skeletons and silver skeletons around it. They were like its guards, guarding the valley. Ling Xiao killed his way into the valley. After knowing the strength of the low-level skeletons, Ling Xiao killed them as easily as chopping vegetables. The calamity seeds of the skeletons also glowed, and merged with Ling Xiao's indestructible calamity seed. When Ling Xiao entered the valley, the golden praying mantis also saw Ling Xiao instantly. The golden flames in its eyes danced, and it released a strong spiritual wave, as if it was extremely shocked. Purple calamity seed. King. No. You're just a low-level silver skeleton. The golden praying mantis stared at Ling Xiao. Its spiritual wave was cold. Ling Xiao could even see a hint of greed in its eyes. You have spiritual intelligence? If that's the case, come and die. Ling Xiao said calmly. Die. The golden praying mantis leaped. It was dozens of feet away. The 2 praying mantis blades shone with a golden light. They came down on Ling Xiao. Clang. Ling Xiao blocked the attack with the huge bone sword in his hand. However, this bone sword had many cracks in it during the previous battle. At this moment, it was directly cut in half by the mantis blade. Its momentum did not decrease as it continued to fall towards Ling Xiao's head. Whoosh! Ling Xiao's body flashed and dodged the golden praying mantis blades. He then approached the golden praying mantis like a shadow. The purple indestructible calamity seed pounced on the golden praying mantis like the sun. Rumble. The golden praying mantis was a golden skeleton. Its bones were already extremely sturdy. Now that it was entangled by the purple calamity seed, it immediately fell apart. Even the 2 sharp praying mantis blades melted. The 2 golden flames were swallowed by the indestructible calamity seed. A powerful force merged with Ling Xiao's bones. Crack! It was as if he had broken through a certain critical point. A golden glow rose from Ling Xiao's bones, covering his bones like a golden liquid. Then it began to refine his bones, making them stronger and stronger. In the end, the silver glow faded, and his entire body turned into a pure gold color. The golden skeleton had broken through. Chapter 1659. A huge black palace stood at the peak of the mountain. It was majestic and majestic, exuding an ancient and majestic aura. Outside the palace, there were many powerful skeleton guards. The weakest among them was a golden skeleton. In addition to the golden skeletons, there were 9 diamond skeletons whose bodies were as white as jade. They exuded an immortal luster and were as sturdy as diamonds. Each of them was more than 100 feet tall. They held huge bone swords and shields in their hands. The white flames in their eye sockets were as dazzling as the sun. Rumble! The door of the palace opened with a bang, and a 300-meter-tall human-shaped skeleton walked out from within. Its entire body emitted a purple light, and its bones were translucent like crystals. Brilliant divine light flowed around it, and it emitted an extremely powerful pressure. There were 2 purple calamity seeds in its eyes. They were as dazzling as purple divine suns. At the same time, an inexplicable emotion flowed within them. As soon as the purple skeleton appeared, the majestic aura of a king instantly filled the area. All the dead creatures in the mountain range could not help but tremble. They then knelt down deeply. Their king had awakened. I am the purple gold skeleton king. And also, Zhan Tianxing. The calamity seeds in the purple human-shaped skeleton's eye sockets exuded an inexplicable fluctuation. There was a drop of 9-colored blood where its heart should be. It slowly beat there. Every time it beat, endless calamity aura would surge from all around, making its aura even more terrifying. 10 years have passed. My arrangements are still here. This is destined to be my world. The purple gold skeleton king said excitedly. He was Zhan Tianxing. 10 years ago, when Zhan Tianxing first entered this world to receive the cyclic sky seal's inheritance, he had not yet formed the immortal calamity seed. However, because he had the bloodline of the war tribe, he was able to awaken his sealed memories immediately. In this world, he conquered everywhere and constantly cultivated. He used the talent of the war tribe's bloodline to evolve from a small black skeleton to a purple gold skeleton king. However, 10 years ago, because he hadn't condensed the imperishable calamity seed and had wasted a lot of time, he still hadn't found a way to refine the flipping sky seal. He could only leave in disappointment. Before he left, he announced that he would be cultivating in seclusion in the palace, and asked his subordinates to protect him. He didn't expect that after 10 years, his subordinates would still be guarding outside loyally. They didn't even think about going in to investigate. This made Zhan Tianxing very satisfied. Although I don't know how to control the cyclic sky seal, the 9 titled skeleton kings definitely know. As long as I kill all of them and devour their calamity seeds, I will be able to completely control the cyclic sky seal. Zhan Tianxing looked into the distance, his eyes blazing with passion. In the center of this world, there were 9 eternal sacred mountains. On each sacred mountain there was a titled skeleton king. The 9 titled skeleton kings were also the strongest existences in this world. 10 years ago, Zhan Tianxing had paid a huge price to become a purple gold skeleton king. However, he had seen with his own eyes that a skeleton king with the title of Divine Firmament had reduced dozens of purple gold skeleton kings to dust with one blow. The difference between a purple gold skeleton king and a titled skeleton king was like the difference between a sage-to-be and a sage. The difference was like heaven and earth. Zhan Tianxing said flatly. Immediately, the strongest of the 9 diamond skeletons stepped forward and knelt respectfully before Zhan Tianxing. It emitted a wave of awe. Zhan pays his respects to Master. Congratulations on coming out of seclusion, Master. Your divine skills have improved tremendously. You can conquer the world. Zhan Tianxing knew that black iron skeletons, bronze skeletons, and silver skeletons were all low-level life forms. They did not have much spiritual intelligence, and only had instincts. However, golden skeletons and above had spiritual intelligence that was not inferior to humans. It was not difficult for them to communicate. However, the skeleton race placed great importance on hierarchy. Low-level skeletons would only submit to higher-level skeletons, and would not dare to resist. Zhan Tianxing named these 9 diamond skeletons Zhan, Ita Zhanjiao. They were all personally groomed by Zhan Tianxing, and refined using a secret technique. They were loyal to him and would not betray him. Did anything major happen in the past 10 years? Did the 9 titled skeleton kings show their faces? Zhang Tianxing asked. Master, nothing major happened in the past 10 years. The other purple gold skeleton kings have been more obedient. Ever since the Divine Firmament King killed dozens of them 10 years ago, they have been very obedient. However, recently they have become restless again. The legendary River of Forgetfulness is about to appear again. Zhang Yi answered honestly. The River of Forgetfulness appears, and the red spider lily blooms? The purple indestructible calamity seed in Zhang Tianxing's eye sockets shone brightly, revealing a hint of shock. There was a legend about the River of Forgetfulness in this land of death. It was said that the River of Forgetfulness was a river that separated the yin and yang realms. Red spider lilies grew in it. If one could swallow the red spider lily, they would be able to be reborn from the dead and become a true living being, an existence comparable to the 9 titled skeleton kings. Zhang Tianxing knew that the 9 titled skeleton kings in this world had been reborn from the dead and possessed true flesh and blood. Only then did they possess the power to reign supreme over the world. This was a temptation that countless undead creatures in this land of death could not resist. Very good. Zhang Yi, I will now give you a mission. As long as you can complete it, I will bring you to the River of Forgetfulness and bestow you with the purple gold calamity seed to help you break through. Zhang Tianxing said slowly. Master, please instruct us. We are willing to die 1,000 deaths. Zhang Yi and the 9 diamond skeletons all revealed extremely agitated mental fluctuations. Then they knelt down in front of Zhang Tianxing at the same time. There are the auras of 8 people here. They are in this land of death. They should still be very weak now, and their strength is definitely not as strong as yours. Capture all 8 of them for me, dead or alive. 8 balls of light flew out of Zhang Tianxing's indestructible calamity seed and landed in the hands of Zhang Yi and the rest. These were the auras of Ling Xiao, Geng Long, Geng Hu, and the other 8 great inheritors. Before Zhang Tianxing entered the inner world of the cyclic sky seal, he had used a very secretive method to capture them. It was all for today's plan. Zhang Tianxing had the bloodline of the war tribe. That was why he could awaken his true spirit and memories as soon as he entered this world. He even inherited the power of the purple gold skeleton king. However, he did not believe that Ling Xiao and the rest could awaken their true spirits and memories as well. Chapter 1660. Yes, sir. Zhang Yi's 9 diamond skeletons grabbed the 8 balls of light. After recording the 8 auras with their tribulation seeds, they instantly led the numerous skeleton soldiers to split into 9 torrents and spread out in all directions. They would carry out Zhang Tianxing's orders to the letter. Even if they had to turn this land of death upside down, they had to capture those 8 people. Now I can go and meet the other purple gold skeleton kings. I hope I can raise my strength to the level of a 9-star skeleton king before the River of Forgetfulness appears. Zhang Tianxing thought to himself. The purple calamity seed in his eye sockets was dazzling, and a purple star flashed past. These undead creatures really have their merits. After Ling Xiao killed one of the golden skeletons, he absorbed the golden calamity seed. The power of his skeleton became even stronger. At this moment, Ling Xiao even suspected that he had entered this world with his real body, and not some illusion. This world had its own laws of great Tao. Just like the realm of the gods, it was actually a large world, but a world of death. These skeletons were not weak, especially after breaking through to the golden skeleton level. Ling Xiao realized that although the low-level skeletons were very weak and only had battle instincts, the golden skeletons could already mobilize the power of heaven and earth. Their speed, strength, and agility had all increased greatly. Ling Xiao also became more and more cautious. After all, this was the first time he had entered this land of death, and he did not want to fail miserably. Regardless of whether he died here or was directly teleported out, he was not willing to accept either outcome. This was a barren mountain range with a radius of tens of thousands of miles. On almost every mountain range, there was a powerful golden skeleton. It was the king of the skeletons, leading a group of low-level skeleton soldiers. In a month's time, Ling Xiao had killed hundreds of golden skeletons. He also felt that his strength had reached a bottleneck. The power of his skeleton had also become extremely terrifying. Ordinary golden skeletons could not withstand his strength. Moreover, although these golden skeletons had intelligence, their knowledge of this world was very limited. They only knew that in this mountain range, there was an indestructible diamond skeleton with jade-like bloodline. It was the true overlord of this area. Now I can go and meet that diamond skeleton. Maybe I can get some information about this world from it. Ling Xiao stood on top of a mountain peak and looked at the tallest mountain in the mountain range. Clouds swirled around it and black light filled the air. There was an extremely powerful aura rippling from it. The white calamity seed was as bright as the sun, attracting Ling Xiao's attention. Whoosh! Ling Xiao's figure flashed and shot towards the mountain peak like a bolt of golden lightning. The current Ling Xiao was a full 90 feet tall. His entire body was resplendent as if it was cast in gold. His bones emitted a clanking sound, sparkling and translucent, emitting a powerful energy fluctuation. Ling Xiao could feel the vast aura of death in this world. This was the world of undead creatures, and it contained the source of death. Ling Xiao's figure landed on the peak of the mountain and stopped. In front of him stood a white skeleton that shone like a diamond. It was over 100 feet tall, and had a terrifying aura. It held a huge bone spear in its hand, and the white calamity seed in its eyes exuded powerful spiritual ripples. Ling Xiao could feel that this diamond skeleton was very strong. The diamond skeleton looked at Ling Xiao and did not attack immediately. Instead it said, "Outsider, this is my territory. As long as you leave this place, I can spare your life. You can let me leave this place, but you have to answer a few questions of mine." Ling Xiao glanced at the diamond skeleton and said calmly, "All right. Ask away." The diamond skeleton hesitated for a moment, but still nodded. "Who is the strongest person in the skeleton tribe in this world? Where are they?" Ling Xiao asked. "The strongest in this world are naturally the 9 titled skeleton kings. They live on the 9 sacred mountains in the center of the world. This should be something that every skeleton tribe knows. How can you not know?" The diamond skeleton was a little puzzled. "Because I was injured, some of my memories have disappeared," Ling Xiao said faintly. Unexpectedly, the diamond skeleton nodded and said, "You should be a great purple gold skeleton king, right? It's just that your strength has weakened for some reason, but you still have the calamity seed of a purple gold skeleton king. It's my honor to be able to answer your questions." Following the diamond skeleton's explanation, Ling Xiao also had a rough understanding of this world. Simply put, this was a world of death. The skeleton tribe was also the strongest existence in this world. Above the diamond skeleton was the purple gold skeleton king. The purple gold skeleton kings were divided into 1 star to 9 star according to their strength. The strongest in this world were the 9 titled skeleton kings. They were the masters of this world. Can the purple gold skeleton kings control the true meaning of death? In that case, it's somewhat similar to a half-sage. Could it be that the 9 titled skeleton kings are all sage-level experts? Ling Xiao couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. He secretly guessed and compared the strength of the skeleton tribe with the realm of the god realm. If it was really as Ling Xiao guessed, then the diamond skeleton in front of him should be at the god realm, and Ling Xiao's current strength was comparable to the supreme experts of the mortal world. Ling Xiao had a faint guess in his heart. If he wanted to control the cyclic sky seal, it would ultimately still fall on the 9 titled skeleton kings. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, 3 ear-piercing sounds were heard. In an instant, they flew over from afar and landed on the mountain peak. Moreover, they surrounded Ling Xiao from left and right. They were 2 platinum skeletons. Both of them were more than 100 feet tall. Their auras were powerful, and their bodies were sparkling like divine clouds. One of them held a huge battle axe, while the other held a bone knife. Ling Xiao could feel traces of killing intent and greed from their calamity seeds. "I was wondering why you were willing to answer my question. So it's a delaying tactic?" Ling Xiao stared at the diamond skeleton holding a bone spear in front of him, and said calmly, "You're very strong. I shouldn't be a match for you. However, if we obtain your calamity seed, it'll be enough for the 3 of us to advance." The diamond skeleton said somewhat coldly. Ling Xiao felt a little amused. He didn't expect these skeletons to know how to use strategies, and even know how to call for reinforcements. These 2 diamond skeletons should be the overlords of other regions. He didn't know where this diamond skeleton called them from. Chapter 1661. Kill him. The diamond skeleton with the bone spear roared and charged at Ling Xiao. Boom. In the palm of Ling Xiao's hand, he swung a black stone staff towards the bone spear. This stone staff was taken from a golden skeleton by Ling Xiao. It was neither gold nor jade. It didn't look special, but it was extremely sturdy. Ling Xiao couldn't even leave a mark on it with his full strength. The black bone spear was extremely fast, as if it could pierce through the void. White flames surrounded it, and spread along the bone spear towards Ling Xiao. Bang! The bone spear and the stone staff collided. Ling Xiao's body shook, and he and the diamond skeleton both retreated at the same time. The diamond skeleton's strength was indeed extremely strong. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, 2 sounds of the air being torn apart rang out. Behind Ling Xiao, the diamond skeleton with the battle axe and the diamond skeleton with the bone saber charged at him from both sides. Come on. I'll let you have a taste of my self-created chaotic 8 styles. Ling Xiao wasn't afraid at all. Instead, he was full of fighting spirit. Holding the black stone staff, he smashed it at the 2 diamond skeletons behind him. In this world of death, Ling Xiao discovered that due to the restrictions of the laws of heaven and earth, in addition to the fact that he was a skeleton, many of the martial arts he had learned before could not be used. Therefore, he created the chaotic 8 styles based on the characteristics of the skeleton race. The chaotic 8 styles was actually very difficult. It was a simple martial art that used strength to suppress others. Ling Xiao referred to the ancestral dragon secret techniques, violent dragon divine ability, and the myriad tribulations indestructible saint technique, to control the power of the tribulation chi. The first style could unleash 2 times the power, the second 4 times the power, the third 6 times the power, and the 8th style could unleash 16 times the power. Fighting against the skeleton race didn't require any exquisite martial arts. The skeleton race's strongest point was their body, and the tribulation seed was their origin. As long as their bodies were destroyed, they naturally wouldn't be able to resist. Boom. Ling Xiao's body was surrounded by strands of tribulation chi. His power was twice as strong as before. The black stone staff swept out, sending the battle axe and bone blade flying. When Ling Xiao's second strike landed, he had already unleashed 4 times his strength. The aura around him was vast and unparalleled, directly suppressing the 2 diamond skeletons. Instantly, dozens of ribs were broken, and they were directly sent flying. How can you explode with such power? This is impossible. The platinum skeleton with the bone spear was a little shocked. It couldn't believe that a gold skeleton could defeat 2 diamond skeletons. After all, the hierarchy in the skeleton clan was very strict, and it was extremely difficult to challenge those of a higher level. Although he thought that Ling Xiao was once a purple gold skeleton king, and his strength had declined to the level of a golden skeleton, he did not expect Ling Xiao to be so strong. Nothing is impossible. Originally, I wanted to let you go. You want my tribulation seed, so why wouldn't I want yours? Ling Xiao sneered. The stone staff in his hand smashed towards the platinum skeleton with the bone spear. 6 times his strength exploded, but his body also emitted a crisp sound as if he couldn't bear it. Boom. The huge bone spear was directly broken by Ling Xiao's rod, and then it smashed onto the diamond skeleton's body without losing any momentum, directly smashing its incomparably sturdy bones into smithereens, leaving only its head spinning on the ground. Let's go. The other 2 diamond skeletons weren't stupid when they saw this scene. They knew that Ling Xiao was extremely strong, and they were no match for him at all. They turned around and wanted to escape. However, Ling Xiao's murderous nature was strong. How could he let them escape just like that? He immediately chased after them. The power of the chaotic 8 styles was unparalleled, making Ling Xiao like a tiger that had grown wings. Soon, the 2 diamond skeletons' bones were shattered, and they were completely killed. Buzz. A purple divine sun rose in Ling Xiao's eyes, emitting a bright and mysterious light. It instantly absorbed the tribulation seeds of the 3 diamond skeletons. A powerful and unparalleled energy surged into Ling Xiao's body. It was like a bright divine glow, but also like a vast aura of death. It immediately enveloped his entire body. After obtaining the power of the 3 diamond skeletons, Ling Xiao finally reached a critical point. Boom! In the end, the golden light around him slowly receded, and began to reveal a bright white light that was as hot as the sun. Moreover, his bones also grew as if they were growing. His body, which was originally 90 feet tall, continued to double in size. In the end, he became 80 feet tall, and his entire body emitted an extremely powerful aura. However, when his body expanded to the limit, his body blossomed with a resplendent divine light. Immediately, his body began to shrink. In the end, he was still the size of an ordinary person. He was only 9 feet tall. However, his jade-like white bones became even finer. There were even mysterious patterns appearing on them. A mysterious aura bloomed from the purple tribulation seed, enveloping Ling Xiao's entire body. It made him somewhat unpredictable. This is the aura of the art of reversing fate. Ling Xiao shook. The aura of the art of reversing fate, which was originally sealed in the tribulation seed, actually burst out and enveloped his entire body. Ling Xiao suddenly felt that his perception of this world had become extremely clear. It was as if he could touch the power of death with his tentacles. This feeling was very strange, and it made Ling Xiao feel somewhat at a loss. It was as if he had died once. However, the power of the wordless heavenly book was still sealed in the tribulation seed. Ling Xiao had no way of sensing it. How can the world in the flipping heaven seal be so strong? It can even block the wordless heavenly book? Ling Xiao's heart trembled, and he found it hard to believe. After all, although the wordless heavenly book was now incomplete, and had not fully recovered its power, it was still a legendary treasure of the chaos. The fact that the flipping heaven seal could block Ling Xiao's perception of the wordless heavenly book made Ling Xiao feel more and more mysterious. Ling Xiao held a huge iron cudgel in his hand. He could feel that all the skeletons in this mountain range were emitting spiritual fluctuations of awe and submission. It was as if as long as he wanted, he could immediately become the overlord of this mountain range. It's time to leave. According to the diamond skeleton, this mountain range is extremely vast. It is called the Dead Soul Mountain Range, and there are many skeleton experts. The most powerful one is a purple gold skeleton king. I need to increase my strength as soon as possible to meet that purple gold skeleton king. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Chapter 1662. Ling Xiao walked along the mountain range and headed towards the center of this world. The Death Mountain Range was incomparably vast. Almost every 1,000 miles, there would be a diamond skeleton ruling over a mountain, becoming the overlord of a region. Ling Xiao continued to advance, killing many diamond skeletons along the way. His strength was getting stronger and stronger, and his cultivation of the chaotic 8 styles was getting more and more proficient. Ling Xiao could feel the boundless power of death in this world. It contained the power of the origin of death. As he killed the experts of the skeleton clan and devoured the calamity seeds, his understanding of the true meaning of death became deeper and deeper. In the end, Ling Xiao saw a huge palace. It looked ancient and mysterious, and there were many golden and platinum skeletons guarding it. There was an aura that emitted a vast wave, and it seemed to cause the world to tremble slightly. Purple Gold Skeleton King. Ling Xiao knew that he had arrived at the palace of the Purple Gold Skeleton King. Rumble. However, Ling Xiao could see that in front of the huge palace, there was an extremely fierce battle taking place. Countless golden and platinum skeletons were participating in it. Human experts wearing beast skins with powerful auras were fighting the skeleton race. The earth shook, the void trembled, and the divine light was incomparably blazing, blooming above the mountain peak. There are humans here? Ling Xiao's body trembled, and he found it hard to believe. Ling Xiao thought that this place of death was the world of the skeleton race. Everywhere was filled with calamity chi and death chi, but he didn't expect to see human experts here. Ling Xiao wanted to dodge temporarily, but he didn't expect a human youth wearing beast skins to discover him. In an instant, he held a huge stone knife in his hand and pounced on him like an ape. I didn't expect that there would be a big fish that slipped through the net. Ha ha, you're mine. The youth wearing beast skins was extremely excited. He had thick eyebrows, big eyes, and a tall figure. His body was filled with explosive power, and his blood chi was monstrous. He held a huge stone knife in his hand and slashed at Ling Xiao. "You're a human?" Ling Xiao asked, and the stone staff in his hand flew up to meet the youth. If there were really humans, these people were probably placed here by the Scarlet Dragon War God 1,000,000 years ago. Ling Xiao had some doubts in his heart, and he had a good impression of these humans, so he just blocked them. Bang! The stone knife and stone staff collided, and suddenly, a dazzling light shone. An unparalleled divine force attacked, and Ling Xiao couldn't help but take a few steps back. He was a little surprised. This youth wearing beast skins had great strength, and his cultivation seemed to be comparable to the Divine King realm. He was extremely powerful. "You were actually able to block my blade attack? Not bad. Come, let me slash you a few hundred slashes and see if your bones or my knife is harder. By the way, let me tell you something. I am from the Pangu clan." The young man in animal skin glanced at Ling Xiao in surprise, and then rushed up with his knife. "What? You're from the clan?" This time, it was Ling. Wasn't the Pangu clan wiped out 1,000,000 years ago? Other than the members of the Pangu clan who had fallen to the lower realm, eldest senior brother Tiangang was probably the only member of the Pangu clan in the entire god realm. "Huh. You're an interesting skeleton. You know about the Pangu clan? But you still have to die." The youth wearing beast skins was even more surprised. He looked Ling Xiao up and down, and felt that this diamond skeleton was a little different. Ordinary diamond skeletons were more than 100 feet tall, but Ling Xiao was about the same height as the youth wearing beast skins. Moreover, he seemed to have a different aura from the skeleton clan. "Have you heard of Panguchu?" Ling Xiao suddenly asked. Suddenly, the youth wearing beast skins was shocked. He stared at Ling Xiao in shock and said, "Panguchu? That's the 3600th clan leader of the clan. He was a peerless figure 1,000,000 years ago. How do you know him? You. Who are you? You're really from the clan. Don't be afraid. I'm not from the skeleton clan. I'm an outsider. I'm the inheritor of the flipping sky seal." Ling Xiao stared at the youth wearing beast skins. In the end, he chose to reveal his identity. "What? You're the inheritor? I've heard of you. Inheritors appear once every 10 years. But over the years, many inheritors have failed. I'm afraid your efforts will be in vain this time." The youth wearing beast skins was even more shocked, but the hostility in his eyes disappeared. He put away his huge stone knife and looked at Ling Xiao. "Have you seen other inheritors?" Ling Xiao asked curiously. "Yes. 10 years ago, an inheritor went to our Pangu village, but he seemed to have failed in the end. He was killed by the Divine Firmament King." The youth wearing beast skins thought for a while and said, "The Divine Firmament King? One of the 9 titled skeleton kings?" Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as he asked slowly. "That's right. The Divine Firmament King is the leader of the 9 titled skeleton kings. He's extremely powerful. He once killed dozens of purple gold skeleton kings with one strike. 10 years ago, he attacked once and killed several inheritors." The youth wearing beast skins said honestly. Rumble. At this moment, the battle in the distance had come to an end. The Pangu clan dispatched a total of a few dozen people, but these people were very powerful. Each of them had monstrous vitality. The golden skeletons were almost no match for them and were quickly killed. Although the diamond skeletons were barely able to resist, after a fierce battle, they were also killed by the Pangu clan. And the most powerful purple gold skeleton king was actually captured alive. The person who had captured the purple gold skeleton king was a tall and sturdy man. He was like an iron tower. His dark golden muscles seemed as if they were made of gold and iron. His blood energy was extremely violent. His cultivation had already reached the half-saint realm. 3rd revolution half-saint. But I'm afraid that even a 6th revolution half-saint might not be a match for him. Ling Xiao's heart trembled as he thought to himself. That burly man like an iron tower seemed to walk the path of strength. He had tempered his body and his body was extremely powerful. He dared to fight the purple gold skeleton king head-on. In the end, he even tore off one of the purple gold skeleton king's arms. He looked extremely ferocious. Little Yuan, could it be that you can't defeat this diamond skeleton? But why does this diamond skeleton look so small? Come, let uncle kill it for you. A group of burly men from the Pangu clan surrounded Ling Xiao and looked at him with malicious smiles. Don't mess around. Uncle Tai, he's an inheritor. He's not an ordinary skeleton. The young man in animal skin shouted. His eyes were filled with excitement. Inheritor. These 3 words seemed to have some kind of magic. Suddenly, everyone could not help but tremble. They stared at Ling Xiao with their big eyes. Chapter 1663. Are you the inheritor? The burly man who looked like an iron tower walked out of the crowd. His aura surged, and his tiger-like eyes looked extremely majestic as he stared at Ling Xiao and said seriously, "That's right. I'm the inheritor." Ling Xiao replied calmly. Then the indestructible seed of calamity in his eye socket shone brightly. A small black seal flashed on the indestructible seed of calamity, looking extremely mysterious. That was the seal of the inheritance, which could prove the identity of the inheritor. The burly man who looked like an iron tower was called Panga Tai. He instantly believed Ling Xiao's identity. You are indeed the inheritor. Haha. This time, we can get some news from the outside world again. Let's go back to Panga village. I believe the great elder will be very happy. Panga Tai shouted excitedly. Suddenly, the vigilance in his eyes disappeared, and he became extremely enthusiastic. Without any explanation, Ling Xiao was escorted out of the mountain range by a group of experts of the Pangu clan, and headed for Pangu village. Ling Xiao could see that the experts of the Pangu clan had collected the remains of the diamond skeletons, and then carefully put all the calamity seeds into a clay jar. It was as if they had obtained a great harvest. Each of them was extremely satisfied and excited. They surrounded Ling Xiao and moved extremely quickly. Soon, they had crossed hundreds of thousands of miles and arrived at Pangu village. This is Pangu village? Ling Xiao saw 2 huge willow trees in front of him. Branches and buds drooped down. They had green leaves and were full of vitality. Behind the 2 willow trees was a village with smoke curling up from kitchen chimneys. There were dozens of rows of stone houses, which looked very neat. There was an extremely strong aura and vitality here that seemed to be able to break through the clouds. The entire Pangu village seemed to be shrouded in a layer of mysterious fog. It was as if it was isolated from the outside world, which was filled with the aura of death. It was simply a different world. To be able to survive in this land of death, I'm afraid it's all thanks to Pangu village. Ling Xiao exclaimed in his heart. Grandpa, we're back. We've brought back a successor. Just as they arrived at the entrance of Pangu village, little Yuan, the boy clad in animal skin, began to shout excitedly. A group of people walked out of Pangu village. There were both men and women, and each of them was tall and strong. Their chi and blood surged, and they contained exuberant vitality. In this world of death, they appeared particularly strange. Among the crowd there was a tall, white-haired old man with a walking stick in his hand. He looked like an immortal with a kind face and a pair of old and deep eyes that seemed to be extremely wise. He wore a hemp robe and had an otherworldly aura. Our Pangu village is honored to have such a distinguished guest. The gentle and calm gaze of the old man landed on Ling Xiao. It was as though there was a power that could calm one's heart. Ling Xiao felt as though he had been seen through by this old man. Ling Xiao could not help but feel a chill in his heart. This old man's strength was unfathomable. Even he could not see through him. In particular, this old man seemed to be in his twilight years. His body was filled with a deep sense of lethargy and death. However, his chi and blood were incomparably majestic, like a blazing furnace. Greetings, old man. I am Long Outyin, a disciple of the War God Temple. Ling Xiao cupped his hands and bowed to the old man. Our distinguished guest is indeed an inheritor. However, for countless years, many inheritors have come to this world of death, but in the end, none of them were able to control the flipping sky seal. However, in this land of death, you can still obtain many benefits. The old man smiled slightly. The group walked into Pangu village. Pangu village was not big. It only covered an area of about 100 miles. There were some simple stone houses and some fertile fields and pastures. The entire Panga village seemed to be shrouded by some mysterious power. The outside world was deathly silent, but Panga village was full of vitality. The old man's name was Pangafong, and he was the great elder of Panga village. He was also the oldest and had lived for nearly 100,000 years. However, in the world of death, because it contained the law of death, the lifespan of living creatures was greatly limited. Originally, in the divine world, one might have a lifespan of millions of years, but in this world, it was shortened by 10 times or even dozens of times. My young friend Long, I've met other inheritors before, but I've discovered a problem. After the inheritors leave the world of death, they lose all their memories of this place. Therefore, every inheritor who enters this place doesn't know anything about the situation in this world. Therefore, I guess that even the War God Temple does not know the situation in the world of death. Pangafong said slowly. Leaving the world of death, one's memory will be sealed and even erased? This flipping sky seal is really powerful. Old man, why is your Panga clan in the flipping sky seal? Although Ling Xiao had some guesses in his heart, he still asked doubtfully. Little friend Long, you should have heard of the great calamity a million years ago, right? My Panga clan, Fengshui family and Tomb King City all suffered a great calamity and suffered heavy casualties. Someone even planted a bloodline curse. In the end, the Scarlet Dragon War God saved us and placed us in the flipping sky seal. But later the Scarlet Dragon War God disappeared, and he disappeared for a million years. From the previous inheritors, we learned that the Scarlet Dragon War God has fallen. Pangafeng's face showed a trace of sadness. Not only the Panga clan, but also the Fengshui family and Tomb King City? Ling Xiao could not help but be slightly shocked. Yes. In this world of death, there are also Fengshui village and Tomb King village, which are not far from here. They are the descendants of the Fengshui family and Tomb King City. Pangafong nodded. As they spoke, they walked to the center of the village. There were 2 stone statues in the center. One of them was handsome and extraordinary. It was a peerless man who looked like a god of war. The other statue was a somewhat wretched old man, but his face was very vague, but his eyes were very vivid, revealing a very wretched aura. Below the 2 stone statues, there were big words engraved. Great Heavenly Master. Second Heavenly Master. Old man, if I'm not wrong, this Great Heavenly Master is the Scarlet Dragon War God, right? Who is Second Heavenly Master? Ling Xiao asked curiously. Yes. Great Heavenly Master is the Scarlet Dragon War God, the savior of our Panga clan, Fengshui family and Tomb King City. Second Heavenly Master is the device spirit of the flipping sky seal, and the master of this world. But a million years ago, Second Heavenly Master and Great Heavenly Master disappeared together. We don't know where they went, so we engraved statues to worship and pay tribute to them. There are also statues of Great Heavenly Master and Second Heavenly Master in Fengshui Village and Tomb King Village. Chapter 1664. Did the device spirit of the flipping sky seal disappear with the Scarlet Dragon War God? No wonder no one has been able to control the flipping sky seal for the past million years. Ling Xiao thought to himself. The flipping sky seal was a treasure with unparalleled power and a hidden world. If the device spirit of the flipping sky seal was still there and recognized him as its master, he would be able to control the flipping sky seal. But now, without the device spirit, it was extremely difficult to control the flipping sky seal. Moreover, Ling Xiao somehow felt that the wretched second holy master looked familiar, as if he had seen him somewhere before. In that case, it is very difficult to control the flipping sky seal? Ling Xiao asked. Perhaps Pangafong knew some secrets about the flipping sky seal. It is very difficult. But there is a way. Pangafong said after thinking for a while. Oh, what is it? I don't know the details. But the 9 titled skeleton kings in this world of death must know. They used to be second holy masters 9 generals. Now they are the real masters of this world of death. If you can kill the 9 titled skeleton kings, you will be able to control the flipping sky seal. Ling Xiao said with a wry smile. If I am not wrong, the 9 titled skeleton kings should have the combat strength of a sage, right? Ling Xiao was confident that he could become a purple gold skeleton king. But there had only been 9 titled skeleton kings in the past million years. There had never been a 10th titled skeleton king. One could imagine how difficult it was to achieve the realm of titled skeleton kings. You are right but also wrong. After all, this world of death is just the inner world of the flipping sky seal. The origin of the great ways is not complete. The 9 titled skeleton kings have the combat strength of a sage, but they have not reached the realm of a sage. It is indeed very difficult for you to kill them, Pang Gufeng said as he nodded. No matter how difficult it is, I will give it a try, Ling Xiao said. He had already decided that he had to master the flipping sky seal. According to his understanding, the flow of time here was different from that of the outside world. 3 days in the outside world was probably 3 years in the flipping sky seal. He had already spent half a year in the outside world. Time was running out. There is an opportunity recently. Friend Long, you can give it a try. If you succeed, you may have a chance to kill the 9 titled skeleton kings. Pang Gufeng pondered for a moment and said slowly, "Oh, what opportunity? In the world of death, the river of forgetfulness is about to appear. The red spider lilies growing in the river of forgetfulness contain the Death Dao origin. There is a chance for the undead creatures to comprehend the Death Dao origin and advance to the titled skeleton king realm. If you can obtain the red spider lily, your strength will definitely skyrocket," Pang Gufeng said slowly. Red spider lilies? Perhaps he could give it a try. When will the river of forgetfulness appear? Ling Xiao said. It should be within these few days. However, the place where the river of forgetfulness appears is not fixed. No one knows where the river of forgetfulness will appear. We can only wait for news, Pang Gufeng said. If that's the case, then I'll strive to break through to the purple gold skeleton king realm in the next few days. At that time, I'll have more power to protect myself. Seeing the direction and hope, Ling Xiao's heart also calmed down. Good. I also hope that you can control the flipping sky seal, so that you can save our 3 races from the abyss of suffering. Although we can struggle at death's door in this world of death, the restrictions are too great. Pang Gufeng sighed softly. It was extremely difficult for the Pangu clan to reproduce. In the world of death, their lifespan was greatly reduced. Currently, there were only a few hundred Pangu clan members in the entire Pangu village. The situation in Fengshui village and Tomb King City was also not optimistic, similar to the situation in Pangu village. What they hoped most was that someone could control the flipping sky seal and bring them out of this world. However, for countless years so many inheritors had failed, they had lost all hope. Pang Gufeng handed over the purple gold skeleton king that Pangu Iron had killed to Ling Xiao. After refining the tribulation seed of the purple gold skeleton king, Ling Xiao's strength had reached the peak of the diamond skeleton king realm. He was only 1 step away from breaking through to the purple gold skeleton king realm. Not good. Grandpa, Fengshui village has been besieged by the skeleton army. Their people have already come to us for help. This time, there are a total of 10 purple gold skeleton kings. Fengshui village can't resist them anymore. On this day, while Ling Xiao was still in the state of cultivation, he heard the anxious voice of little Yuan who was wearing animal skin. When Ling Xiao came out of seclusion, everyone in Pangu village was on high alert. Everyone's eyes were solemn, as if they were facing a great enemy. What happened? Ling Xiao asked. Little Long, I'm afraid we are in trouble this time. The 9 titled skeleton kings, who have always been neutral, have appeared. This time, the Divine Firmament King ordered all the skeleton races elites to search for inheritors. 2 inheritors also appeared in Fengshui village, and the news was leaked. The 10 purple gold skeleton kings under the Divine Firmament King are leading an army to besiege Fengshui village, Pang Gufeng said slowly. The Divine Firmament King? Why did he order to capture inheritors? Ling Xiao asked, somewhat puzzled. This time, there were a total of 9 inheritors. He just did not know who was in Fengshui village now. Who was so unlucky to be discovered? I'm not sure. In the past, the 9 titled skeleton kings have always been in seclusion. Their status is very high. This time, their operation is also very puzzling. However, Fengshui village is on our side, so we will definitely go and rescue them. Peng Gufeng shook his head. All right. Then I will also go to Fengshui village to take a look. Ling Zhao's heart moved as he said slowly. All right. Although the 10 purple gold skeleton kings are strong, it is not impossible to defeat them. Moreover, if you can obtain their tribulation seeds, it should be able to let you break through to the purple gold skeleton king realm. This time, I will personally lead the team and strive to wipe out the 10 purple gold skeleton kings. Peng Gufeng's eyes revealed a trace of sharpness. Soon, the elites of the Pengu race were ready to set off. With Peng Gufeng as the leader, a total of 10 sage-to-be elites were dispatched. Peng Getai and Peng Yuan were also among them. In addition to 50 God King realm elites, they marched toward Fengshui village in a mighty manner. Fengshui village was less than 100,000 miles away from Pengu village. Everyone rushed at full speed and arrived at Fengshui village in less than a day. Rumble. In front of them was a vast valley between two huge mountains. Fengshui village was in that valley, but at this moment, the valley was filled with shouts and shouts of killing. Dazzling divine light bloomed, and the earth trembled. An extremely intense battle was taking place. Roar. A dragon's roar shook the sky. In the sky above the valley, it seemed as if a 7-colored divine dragon had appeared. The dragon's majesty was vast and unparalleled divine power, protecting Fengshui village and erupting with an incomparably powerful force. Not good, the 5 elements yin-yang divine dragon formation has been activated. It seems like the situation in Fengshui village is not good. Let's go. Peng Gufeng's eyes revealed a trace of shock. He instantly soared into the sky, and the aura around him was vast and unparalleled. He took the lead and shot toward Fengshui village. Kill. Chapter 1665. In Fengshui village, a fierce battle was breaking out. In the huge valley, there were experts of the skeleton clan everywhere. There were black iron skeletons, bronze skeletons, silver skeletons, gold skeletons, and diamond skeletons. There were thousands of them. Each of them was fearless and attacked Fengshui village. In the void, there were 9 purple gold skeleton kings floating in the sky. Each of them exuded a terrifying aura. Their bones were incomparably sturdy and flowed with brilliant divine light. They contained a powerful death intent. The purple calamity seed in their eyes was as dazzling as a purple divine sun. The people of Fengshui village were gathered in Fengshui village at this moment. They had activated the 5 elements yin-yang divine dragon formation, and were resisting the attacks of the experts of the skeleton clan. The 7-colored divine dragon was unstoppable. Every time it attacked, a large number of experts of the skeleton clan would be smashed into pieces. The people of Fengshui village looked very gentle and weak. The women were beautiful and eye-catching. The men were elegant and scholarly. There were also many thin and weak old men. However, they were forming seals with their hands and chanting. They held the divine staff in their hands and constantly activated the power of the 7-colored divine dragon to attack the experts of the skeleton clan. Roar. The 10 purple gold skeleton kings let out a roar that seemed to shake the void. Runes floated from their bodies. The 10 runes gathered together like a black chain, and instantly locked the 7-colored divine dragon's head. The 7-colored divine dragon struggled fiercely. However, the more it struggled, the tighter it became. It was as if it would be completely bound at any time. Not good. The people of Fengshui village couldn't help but change their expressions. The strength of these 10 great purple gold skeletons was extremely strong. The only thing they could rely on was the 5 elements yin-yang dragon divine array. If the 7-colored divine dragon was restrained and the array was broken, Fengshui village would be slaughtered today. Big brother, what should we do? I'm afraid that Fengshui village can't withstand it. In Fengshui village, there were 2 skeletons that were as bright as gold. At this moment, they were whispering to each other, revealing a somewhat fearful mental fluctuation. What are you afraid of? At most, we'll just surrender. Anyway, we're also part of the skeleton clan. Even if they capture us, they won't harm us. Another golden skeleton said without much confidence. I wonder where senior brother Jean is now. If we can find senior brother Jean and follow him, we will be safe. The golden skeleton said. These 2 people were the brothers Gung Long and Gung Hu. They were relatively lucky in the world of death. After going through untold hardships, and finally breaking through to the Golden Skeleton Realm, they were discovered by the people of Fengshui village and brought back. However, for some reason, their whereabouts had been exposed. The Divine Firmament King had sent out 10 purple gold skeleton kings to capture them. Anyway, we have nothing to do with this Fengshui village. If the big array is broken, we will find a chance to escape. If you can't escape, then surrender. Gung Long and Gung Hu looked at each other and finally came to a decision. Rumble. The 7-colored divine dragon was bound. The 10 runes contain the mysterious true meaning of death. They were actually devouring the 7-colored divine dragon's energy. This caused the expressions of the experts of Fengshui village to change drastically. The 7-colored divine dragon was getting weaker and weaker. If this continued, they were afraid that the 7-colored divine dragon would be killed by the 10 purple gold skeleton kings. Oldly, just 10 purple gold skeleton kings have forced you to this point. Your Fengshui village is really getting more and more disappointing. At this moment, an old and deep voice sounded. Immediately, all the people of Fengshui village trembled, and their eyes were filled with incomparable surprise. In Fengshui village, an old man in a white robe with white hair and beard looked at the void at this moment and said excitedly, "Old Feng, I knew you wouldn't leave us in the lurch." Rumble. Pangu Feng descended from the sky. His body was extremely strong and contained an immortal fluctuation. The crutch in his hand turned into a huge mountain-splitting axe, flashing with blazing sharpness, and slashed toward the 10 purple gold skeleton kings. Pangu Feng? You actually dare to attack us? Aren't you afraid that the Divine Firmament King will destroy your Pangu village? A purple gold skeleton king exuded a cold fluctuation. Cut the crap. The 9 titled skeleton kings have always minded their own business with Pangu village, Fengshui village, and Tomb King village. Since the Divine Firmament King attacked Fengshui village first, don't blame us for retaliating. Since you dare to attack Fengshui village, leave your lives behind. Pangu Feng sneered. His robe fluttered, and his aura was extremely powerful. At this moment, many experts of the Pangu clan also rushed in, and began to fight with the experts of the skeleton clan. Ling Xiao also charged towards the platinum skeletons. The aura of an inheritor? You're courting death. How dare you take in an inheritor? Wait for your clan to be destroyed. The 10 purple gold skeleton kings discovered Ling Xiao's aura, and their murderous intent instantly blazed as they charged toward Pangu Feng and the others. Rumble. The heavens and earth trembled. The strength of these 10 purple gold skeleton kings was incomparably strong, especially the leader. The purple calamity seed in his eye sockets flickered with 7 stars. He was actually a 7-star purple gold skeleton king. His strength was incomparably terrifying. He didn't fall into a disadvantageous position when fighting against Pangu Feng. He used his physical body to resist Pangu Feng's mountain-splitting axe, and the sound of metal clashing could be heard. Sparks flew in all directions. An intense battle broke out. Ling Xiao also witnessed the true battle strength of the Pangu clan. The Pangu clan's strongest point was not only their immortal physical body, but also their extremely powerful battle talent and instinct. Even in this world of death, they were unparalleled. Their attacks were as fast as lightning, and those dull skeleton experts were no match for them. Devour. A purple divine sun rose from Ling Xiao's eyes. It was dazzling, and the calamity seeds of the golden and platinum skeletons that he had killed were devoured by Ling Xiao's purple calamity seed like streaks of starlight. Ling Xiao's chaotic 8 styles also began to erupt with unparalleled divine power. Regardless of whether it was the golden or platinum skeletons, they could not withstand a single punch from him, and were all killed by him. On the other hand, the strength of the 9 purple gold skeleton kings was extremely terrifying. They were fighting against Pangu Feng, Pangu Tai, Pangu Yang and the others, but they were not at a disadvantage at all. Their bodies were extremely tough, and they had the power to destroy everything. Whether it was speed, strength, or defense, they were incomparably powerful. Boom. 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 Chapter 1666. Clang. The mountain-splitting axe in Pangu Feng's hand emitted blazing rays of light, and chopped down on the arm of the skeleton king. The sound of metal clashing against metal was heard. The Skeleton King abruptly pushed away the mountain-splitting axe, and then sent a punch towards Pangofeng's chest. At the same time, there was a huge bone spear in the purple-gold Skeleton King's hand. In an instant, it soared into the sky and shot towards Pangofeng at an incomparably fast speed. Boom! Pangofeng's chi and blood surged to the sky. Although the mountain-splitting axe was repelled, he wasn't afraid at all. His body was powerful and terrifying. He punched the bone spear, sending it flying. At the same time, he kicked it. The purple-gold Skeleton King and Pangofeng collided with each other, and both of them immediately retreated. Then, a violent power erupted from their bodies, and they charged towards each other at an even faster speed. Ah! Old Man Li, Old Man Feng, you two aren't dead yet? Why didn't you call me along for such a fun thing? At this moment, an extremely deep voice came from the void. Whoosh! Whoosh! A series of air-piercing sounds flew over. Immediately, everyone saw an incomparably magnificent scene. Hundreds of black coffins flew down from the sky. Each coffin was filled with a dense deathly aura. In an instant, the coffins were opened, and hundreds of figures with ferocious fangs and powerful auras rushed out. They charged towards the experts of the Skeleton Clan. The leader was a black-robed old man. Although his face was full of wrinkles and his death aura was very strong, his aura was extremely terrifying. He was not weaker than Pangofeng at all. In fact, he was even more ferocious. Even that old bastard Mu has come? Ha ha. Very good. Today, let's work together and make these bastards stay. Pangofeng's eyes lit up as he laughed out loud. The Tomb King village's reinforcements had also arrived. The black-robed old man leading the group was none other than the great elder of the Tomb King city, Mu Yuansheng. His addition to the Feng Shui village, Panga village, and Tomb King village's forces were like tigers that had grown wings. The experts of the skeleton race were killed one after another, and even the 10 purple gold skeleton kings were unable to withstand the pressure. After all, even though the 10 purple gold skeleton kings were strong, it was still difficult for them to withstand the combined attacks of Pangofeng and Mu Yuansheng. Rumble. Mu Yuansheng's attacks were incomparably savage. He directly controlled a gigantic black coffin that seemed to be made of metal. Cold light blazed as death chi permeated the air, smashing a purple gold skeleton king into pieces. The gigantic head of the skeleton king was sent flying through the air. 2 purple gold tribulation seeds glowed resplendently as they attempted to flee. At this moment, Gung Long and Gung Hu's eyes lit up. The 2 purple calamity seeds were fatally attractive to them. If they could devour the 2 purple calamity seeds, their strength would definitely improve greatly. At the very least, they could break through to diamond skeletons. Whoosh! Whoosh! Their speed was extremely fast as they charged towards the 2 purple tribulation seeds. Rumble! However, an extremely powerful suction force appeared. The 2 purple calamity seeds were actually being pulled by some terrifying force. They instantly flew towards Ling Xiao, and were then swallowed by his purple calamity seed. Gung Long and Gung Hu were enraged. They recognized Ling Xiao's aura. Long Outyin, give us back our calamity seeds. Gung Long gritted his teeth and shouted. Gung Long and Gung Hu? It's the 2 of you? If you want the calamity seeds, then go and snatch them yourselves. Cowering and hiding in Feng Shui village, I'm afraid it won't be so easy to take advantage of the situation. Ling Xiao sneered coldly. Rumble. At this moment, after devouring the 2 purple calamity seeds, Ling Xiao finally reached a critical point. An extremely violent force bloomed within his body. The true intent of death permeated the air, and instantly enveloped his snow-white skeleton. The purple divine sun became more and more intense. In the end, it burned like a flame and enveloped Ling Xiao's entire body. An incomparable pain assaulted him. However, it was accompanied by a powerful force. Ling Xiao felt as though he could tear the heavens and earth apart at this moment. Rumble. Ling Xiao's skeleton instantly turned purple gold in color. It flowed with a gorgeous divine glow. It was dazzling and crystal clear. Moreover, it contained an indestructible force. At this moment, Ling Xiao had finally advanced to the purple gold skeleton king realm. Gung Long and Gung Hu couldn't help but tremble. They no longer dared to say anything. When they met Ling Xiao's gaze, their hearts trembled. They were only in the golden skeleton realm. However, Ling Xiao had already become a purple gold skeleton king. Even if they were mad with jealousy, they knew that Ling Xiao could probably crush them to death with a single finger. Damn it! One of the purple gold skeleton kings was instantly enraged. Ling Xiao had devoured his companion's calamity seed. This made him feel as though he had been greatly humiliated. Suddenly, purple light rose from his body. He held a huge sword in his hand and slashed towards Ling Xiao. Good timing. Have a taste of my chaotic 8 styles, the 4th style. Ling Xiao's entire body was bursting with violent energy. At this moment, he had nowhere to vent his energy. When he saw a purple gold skeleton king rushing towards him, his battle intent erupted. The 4th style of the chaotic 8 styles was unleashed. Rumble. Ling Xiao threw a punch at the purple gold skeleton king. 8 times the terrifying force bloomed in his body. This punch was as fast as lightning. In an instant, it landed on the huge sword. Crack! The long sword shattered into pieces. Ling Xiao's punch smashed it into dust. Then the punch didn't lose its momentum. It went straight through the purple gold skeleton king's chin and smashed its head into pieces. In Ling Xiao's eye sockets, there seemed to be 2 purple vortexes that could devour everything. They directly attracted the calamity seed of the purple gold skeleton king and devoured it. After breaking through to the purple gold skeleton king realm, some kind of seal seemed to have been broken. Ling Xiao could feel the aura of the wordless heavenly book. He could also use the power of the sky-devouring secret technique. Using the sky-devouring secret technique to control the purple gold calamity seed, the purple gold skeleton king couldn't resist at all. It was killed and devoured by Ling Xiao. In the blink of an eye, the calamity seeds of the 2 purple gold skeleton kings were devoured by Ling Xiao. Oh, my brother Long's strength is too terrifying. Peng Yuan was a little distracted. He secretly clicked his tongue. Previously, he felt that Ling Xiao wasn't his match. However, after Ling Xiao's breakthrough, he was so terrifying. He killed a purple gold skeleton king with a single punch. Be careful. Chapter 1667. The war spear was extremely fast as it shot towards Peng Yuan's head. It looked like Peng Yuan was about to die under the war spear. Whoosh! At this moment, Ling Xiao's body flashed with light, and the void trembled. With an unbelievable speed, he instantly teleported tens of thousands of feet, and appeared directly in front of Peng Yuan. Then he suddenly clapped his palms together, and a terrifying divine power erupted, clamping the war spear between his palms. The purple gold skeleton king who threw the war spear was slightly stunned. It seemed to be a little surprised as it didn't know how Ling Xiao could be so fast. Ling Xiao clamped the war spear with his palms. At this moment, violent energy erupted from his body as he executed the chaotic 8 styles. The war spear was thrown behind him at an extremely fast speed. Rumble! The war spear pierced through Peng Yuan's cheek, and even left a trace of blood on his cheek. Then it shot into the head of the purple gold skeleton king who was hugging him, and exploded its head. Get lost! At this moment, Peng Yuan reacted and kicked the purple gold skeleton king away. Then he sent out a palm strike across the sky. The 2 purple calamity seeds were instantly pushed to Ling Xiao by Peng Yuan. The purple vortex in Ling Xiao's eyes filled with dazzling light, and directly devoured the 2 calamity seeds. His aura became even stronger. You're courting death. Peng Yuan wiped the blood off his face, and stared at the purple gold skeleton king, who threw the war spear. Violent energy and blood erupted from his body as he casually grabbed the war spear beside him, and charged towards the purple gold skeleton king. Ling Xiao also rushed forward and punched out. The chaotic 8 styles exploded and the purple gold skeleton king didn't last a few moves before it was killed by Ling Xiao and Peng Yuan. Then, the calamity seeds were devoured by Ling Xiao. In the blink of an eye, Ling Xiao had devoured 4 purple gold skeleton kings. This time, whether it was Peng Gufeng, Mu Yuansheng or the remaining purple gold skeleton kings, they were all shocked. Each of them revealed a spiritual fluctuation of disbelief. This inheritor is too strong. Shueku, you have to take action. Otherwise we'll all die in his hands. Let's go together and kill him. The purple gold skeleton kings discussed and wanted the strongest 7-star purple gold skeleton king to kill Ling Xiao. But how could Pang Gufeng and Mu Yuansheng let Xueku go? Under the joint attack of the two, Xueku was completely at a disadvantage. He roared furiously, but he couldn't turn the situation around. Kill. After the 4 purple gold skeleton kings were killed by Ling Xiao, the morale of the Pangu clan and the people of the Tomb Monarch city was greatly boosted, and they charged towards the remaining purple gold skeleton kings. At the same time, many experts from Fengshui village also rode the 7-colored divine dragon to break free from the shackles. Terrifying dragon power descended and swept in all directions, greatly intimidating the experts from the skeleton tribe. Rumble. The sky and ground shook, and the mountains all around shook. It was as if they were going to collapse at any moment. After a fierce battle, 5 more purple gold skeleton kings were killed by Ling Xiao. Then, Ling Xiao consumed the disaster seeds. Boom. Ling Xiao's body seemed to be covered in a layer of purple flames, and the light was dazzling. Other than Xueku, the remaining purple gold skeleton kings weren't that strong. Most of them were below the 3-star level. But after devouring the disaster seeds of 9 purple gold skeleton kings, Ling Xiao's disaster seeds power skyrocketed, and a 2nd star appeared. 2-star level. Now only the 7-star purple gold skeleton king, Xueku, was left. It had to be said that Xueku's strength was extremely strong. Although Pang Gufeng and Mu Yuansheng attacked together, Xueku still resisted, and even tried to find a chance to escape. But the Fengshui village's Yinyang Divine Dragon formation was fully activated, and the 7-colored Divine Dragon blocked all of Xueku's escape routes. The Divine Firmament King will not let you off. One day, you will all die in his hands. Xueku roared angrily. In the end, his head was chopped off by Pang Gufeng's axe, and his body was smashed into pieces by Mu Yuansheng's attack. Xueku's disaster seed contained 7 stars. It was dazzling and beautiful, and it was several times larger than the other purple gold skeleton king's disaster seeds. It was like 2 resplendent suns. Gung Long and Gung Hu's eyes were spitting fire as they watched Ling Xiao devour the 2 disaster seeds. Their hearts were bleeding. If they could devour these 2 disaster seeds, they would probably be able to break through to the purple gold skeleton king realm. Boom. Ling Xiao's body exuded an extremely powerful aura. After he refined the 2 disaster seeds, he directly broke through to the 3-star level. The 10 purple gold skeleton kings were all killed by Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's strength had also skyrocketed. The 3-star purple gold skeleton kings, together with Ling Xiao's chaotic 8 styles, could definitely erupt with terrifying battle prowess. This gave Ling Xiao a lot more confidence in competing for the Hurricane Lily. Congratulations to little friend Long for your great improvement. Pang Gufeng said with a smile. You must be little friend Long, right? In the past, it was already very difficult for the inheritors to break through to the purple gold skeleton king realm within 3 years. Little friend Long is the best in terms of talent and temperament. Perhaps he can really control the flipping sky seal. Mu Yuansheng also walked over and said with a hint of passion in his eyes. This time, why don't our 3 clans support little friend Long? I think little friend Long is a dragon among dragons and phoenixes. His luck is superb, and he is destined to be the owner of the flipping sky seal. Fengshui village's great elderly Chunyan also walked out and said with a smile. The eyes of the 3 old men were burning. Originally, they didn't have much hope of leaving this world of death. However, the appearance of Ling Xiao and the appearance of the River of Forgetfulness gave them hope, and an idea popped up in their minds. Many thanks to the 3 elders. If I can control the flipping sky seal, I will definitely bring your 3 clans out of this world. Ling Xiao cupped his hands at the 3 elders and said with a smile. You want to leave? You 2 come over here. I have long found you an eyesore. You should be disciples of the War God Temple, right? Big Brother Long, I'll leave these 2 guys to you. Do you want to kill them? Pang Yuan stopped Gung Long and Gung Hu who wanted to sneak away, and said with a cold smile. Gung Long, Gung Hu, do you want to live or die? Ling Xiao looked at them indifferently and asked. So what if we want to die? So what if we want to live? Although Gung Long and Gung Hu were incomparably sullen, They had no choice but to lower their heads under someone else's roof. If you want to die, I will kill you right now. If you want to live, follow me temporarily and listen to my orders. If you don't, I will kill you. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Gung Long and Gung Hu looked at each other and nodded. Okay. We are willing to follow you. Chapter 1668. On a mountain peak hundreds of miles away from Fengshui village, a snow-white diamond skeleton was holding a strange ancient mirror in its palm. It was displaying the current situation in Fengshui village. Behind him were 8 platinum skeletons, each of them emitting a terrifying aura. We've found the last 3 inheritors, but they're beyond our capabilities. Even the divine firmament king's 10 kings were killed. If we go, we'll just be sending ourselves to our deaths. Let's go back and report to Master. Zhan Wen said slowly, a little shocked and fearful. The 9 of them were the 9 diamond skeletons under Zhan Tianxing. In the past few months, they had already captured 5 inheritors according to Zhan Tianxing's instructions. There were only 3 inheritors left, Gung Long, Gung Hu and Ling Xiao. They had found the last 3 inheritors, but with the protection of Fengshui village, Panga village and Tomb King village, they knew that this mission could not be completed. Boss, why does the Divine Firmament King want to capture the inheritors? We have to act quickly for the other 5. Otherwise, I'm afraid we won't be able to answer to Master. Zhan Tu said. I'm not sure either. But I'm afraid the world of death is about to change. The 9 titled skeleton kings have always been in hiding. This time, the Divine Firmament King has chosen to take action. It's very likely that it has something to do with the River of Forgetfulness and the Hurricane Lily. Let's go, we have to report this to Master immediately. Zhan Wen glanced at Fengshui village in the distance and left the mountain peak with the other 8 diamond skeletons to report back. The reason why Ling Xiao did not kill Gung Long and Gung Hu was that he knew that even if he died in this world of death, he would not truly die. Furthermore, there were many things that Ling Xiao wanted to verify with them. Pang Gufeng, Mu Yuansheng, and Li Qingyun finally decided to help Ling Xiao obtain the Hurricane Lily with all their might. They would let Ling Xiao's cultivation level break through to the titled Skeleton King realm and control the Death Dao origin. Only then would he have a chance to kill the 9 titled Skeleton Kings and control the cyclic Sky Seal. Next, Ling Xiao temporarily stayed in Fengshui village. According to Li Qingyun's calculations, the River of Forgetfulness should appear within a month, and it should not be far from Fengshui village. Therefore, the experts of the 3 races all gathered in Fengshui village to prepare for the River of Forgetfulness, and to prevent the Divine Firmament King from sending people again. Moreover, Pang Gufeng, Mu Yuansheng and the rest began to hunt down the experts of the skeleton race without restraint. Within 100,000 miles of Fengshui village, all the experts of the skeleton race suffered a calamity. In a month's time, more than 10 purple gold skeleton kings were killed and the calamity seeds were left for Ling Xiao to consume. Boom. It has finally appeared. Li Qingyun's eyes flickered with a strange light as he spoke excitedly. The red spider lily contains the Death Dao origin, and it has a fatal attraction to the skeleton race. It can even allow them to comprehend the Death Dao origin and advance to the titled Skeleton King realm. This time, all the experts of the skeleton race in the world of death will be alarmed. Pang Gufeng said slowly, with a solemn look in his eyes. There were only 9 titled skeleton kings in the entire world of death. However, the number of purple gold skeleton kings wasn't small. One could imagine that many purple gold skeleton kings would come into being for this supreme opportunity. And there would certainly be an earth-shattering battle at that time. That was because there was only one red spider lily. After consuming the red spider lily, one could comprehend the Death Dao origin and advance to the titled Skeleton King realm. The red spider lily is also very useful to the 9 titled skeleton kings. I'm afraid the 9 titled skeleton kings will not watch the red spider lily fall into the hands of others. They will definitely fight for it. Mu Yuanqing said slowly. Everyone felt great pressure. If they wanted to obtain the red spider lily, they would have to face the 9 titled skeleton kings in advance. Although Pang Gufeng, Mu Yuansheng, and Li Qingyun were strong, They could only deal with a 9-star purple gold skeleton king at most. They were no match for the 9 titled skeleton kings. However, this is also our only chance. As the saying goes, wealth comes from danger. Great opportunities and great fortunes will also be accompanied by great danger. This time, countless experts of the skeleton race will be mobilized. Perhaps we can seek victory in the chaos. No matter what, I must obtain the red spider lily, Ling Xiao said resolutely. He had the sky-devouring secret technique. To the experts of the skeleton race, there were almost no bottlenecks. As long as they could devour enough tribulation seeds, they could continue to advance. It could be said that before reaching the 9-star purple gold skeleton king, Ling Xiao would not have any bottlenecks. This time, with so many experts of the skeleton race gathered, he could definitely break through to the 9-star purple gold skeleton king realm first. At that time, with his various techniques, even if he faced the 9 titled skeleton kings, he would still have a chance. Ling Xiao's only concern was Zhan Tianxing. After all, Zhan Tianxing had the bloodline of the war race. The flipping sky seal was said to be the most precious treasure of the war race. Zhan Tianxing might have some unique conditions. Ling Xiao had to be the first to control the flipping sky seal. Looking at the direction of the Wangchuan River, it should be in the Death Mountain range hundreds of thousands of miles away. Let's go and see if we can seize some opportunities first. Li Chengyan looked at the huge whirlpool in the distance and said slowly. Fengshui Village, Panga Village, and Tomb King Village moved extremely quickly. The 3 clans gathered 30 experts of the half-saints. Under the leadership of the 3 great elders, they were ready to go to the place where the Wangchuan River appeared. After all, the main battle this time would definitely take place between the purple gold skeleton kings. It was meaningless to have too many people. Instead, it would cause immeasurable casualties. Therefore, it was enough to send out the experts of the half-saints. Moreover, under the leadership of Li Qingyun, 30 half-saints had formed the Yin-Yang Divine Dragon formation of the 5 elements. It was a mobile battle formation. Li Qingyun believed that when the time came, it would erupt with terrifying power. Whoosh! 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 Chapter 1669. Death Mountain Range. Powerful spatial fluctuations filled the air. Barren mountains were swallowed one after another, and a huge river appeared. It was filled with dense death energy, and contained a strange fluctuation. This long river was the River of Forgetfulness. When it appeared in the Death Mountain range, it swallowed dozens of mountains in an instant. Those skeleton clan experts were swept up by the River of Forgetfulness, and turned into dust in an instant. The River of Forgetfulness contained the power of the origin of death. It could corrode everything. Even the skeleton clan experts couldn't withstand it. When they were swept up by the River of Forgetfulness, their souls were completely scattered in an instant. Roar! 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 Loud roars resounded through the heavens and earth. The appearance of the River of Forgetfulness instantly caused the skeleton clan in the Death World to go crazy. The skeleton clan experts who were closest to the Death Mountain range all rushed over. Golden skeletons, platinum skeletons, and purple gold skeleton kings were all over the mountains. Their auras were extremely powerful, and they emitted extremely excited and blazing spiritual fluctuations. Those skeleton clan experts all stood beside the River of Forgetfulness, each occupying a region. They all stared at the River of Forgetfulness, waiting for the red spider lily to bloom. According to legend, the red spider lily was right in the middle of the River of Forgetfulness. When the red spider lily bloomed completely, as long as one could swallow the red spider lily, they would be able to comprehend the origin of the Death Tao and advance to the realm of Skeleton King. Currently, the powerhouses of the skeleton clan were still restraining themselves. There were no large-scale battles, only some small skirmishes. When Ling Xiao and the others arrived at the Death Mountain range, they saw that the Forgetfulness River was filled with experts from the skeleton race. Just the purple gold skeleton kings alone numbered in the hundreds. Every single one of them exuded a terrifying aura that shot up into the sky. Ling Xiao and the others chose to stop at a mountain range in the periphery. They didn't go near the River of Forgetfulness. After all, the 30 experts from Fengshui Village, Panga Village, and Tomb King village were all from the human clan. If they appeared at the River of Forgetfulness rashly, they would instantly become the target of public criticism and be besieged by countless skeleton clan experts. There are hundreds of purple gold skeleton kings. These are just the purple gold skeleton kings near the Death Mountain range. There are many who haven't arrived yet. It seems that it won't be easy to get the red spider lily. Peng Gufeng sighed softly and said slowly, "They are just a plate of loose sand. When the Permitha flower appears, they will definitely fall into chaos and fight each other. At that time, we can charge over and seize the Permitha flower." Mu Yuanqing smiled faintly, his eyes filled with a strong fighting spirit. Ling Xiao stared at the River of Forgetfulness in the distance, and his heart trembled slightly. He actually felt a mysterious power of reincarnation from the River of Forgetfulness. The power of life and death intertwined, mysterious and unpredictable. Ling Xiao thought to himself, "There is nothing to be afraid of. Even if there are hundreds or thousands of purple gold skeleton kings, they are just a plate of loose sand. They will fight for themselves. We have the 5 elements Yin-Yang Divine Dragon formation. We can defeat them one by one. The only thing we need to pay attention to is the 9 titled skeleton kings. If they come to fight for the red spider lily, we will be in trouble." Li Chengyun said slowly, "Elders, when the battle royale starts later, we don't have to fight for the transformation. We can use the power of the battle formation to kill as many purple gold skeleton kings as possible and take their calamity seeds. As long as I can devour enough calamity seeds, my strength will continue to increase. It won't be impossible for me to become a 9-star purple gold skeleton king." Ling Xiao said to the 3 elders. "Good. We will do as little friend Long said." Peng Gufeng, Mu Yuanqing, and Li Chengyun looked at each other and nodded. They had decided to help Ling Xiao obtain the red spider lily, kill the 9 titled skeleton kings, and take control of the cyclic sky seal. They were willing to pay any price to do so. When Ling Xiao and the others arrived at the mountain range of death, a 100-meter-tall purple gold skeleton king stood on a mountain peak in the deepest part of the mountain range of death. Its entire body was suffused with purple light, and the aura of death surged into the sky. Behind him, the 9 purple gold skeleton kings stood side by side. Each of them had a strong aura, and were at the 1-star realm. Zhan Tianqing had arrived. His subordinates, Zhan 1 to Zhan 9, had also broken through to the purple gold skeleton king realm with Zhan Tianqing's help. Now all of them were full of ambition and battle intent. They could not wait to die for Zhan Tianqing. In order to obtain the hurricane lily, they were willing to pay any price. "Only I deserve the red spider lily," Zhan Tianqing said slowly as he stared at the River of Forgetfulness. The aura around him was terrifying. "Master, your bravery is unparalleled and your battle prowess is extraordinary. Naturally, only you are worthy of obtaining the red spider lily. But what if the 9 titled skeleton kings come? Especially that divine firmament king. He wanted to capture the inheritor previously. This time, he might come to fight for the red spider lily." Zhan 1 said respectfully. "The divine firmament king? I have already asked around. That old man is at the end of his life, and wants the red spider lily to prolong his life. Also, he is the most ambitious of the 9 titled skeleton kings. It's fine if he doesn't come this time. But if he comes, he will leave his life behind," Zhan Tianqing said coldly. His voice was domineering. Zhan Tianqing's body was as tall as a mountain. On his chest, a rainbow-colored blood pearl shone brightly. It exuded a vast and mysterious power. It made Zhan Tianqing's aura very special. It was as if he had become one with the world. "Master is mighty." Zhan 1 and the other 9 knelt down at the same time. They all exuded fanatical worship. Behind Zhan Tianqing, there were 5 golden skeletons. They all looked very helpless. They had been captured by Zhan Tianqing's men before they could investigate the secrets of this world. "Senior brother Zhan, only you have the right to control the cyclic sky seal. We are willing to follow you. But why do you have to capture us? We are not a threat to you at all." One of the golden skeletons laughed bitterly. He was also a disciple of the combat god temple. "I captured you guys as a precaution. Don't worry. As long as you guys are obedient, I will not harm you. Chapter 1670. Rumble. In the river of forgetfulness, waves surged and mist filled the air. Dazzling light bloomed in an instant. In the middle of the river, there seemed to be a dazzling sun rising, dyeing the entire world in colors. A mysterious flower emerged from the very center of the river of forgetfulness. It was shrouded in a misty nine-colored light. Streaks of light traversed the void. It was mysterious and holy. It was surrounded by mysterious balls of light. There was a kind of mysterious fluctuation of life and death, and the impermanence of life and death. In the beginning it was just a bud. It had not fully bloomed. However, as the world continued to tremble, a vast amount of power gathered within the flower bud, and the flower bud slowly bloomed. The sparkling petals flowed with nine-colored divine light. It was dazzling. From the center of the petals, a rainbow bridge shot out. It floated above the river of forgetfulness and extended towards the riverside. The red spider lily has appeared. Everyone's body trembled, revealing an incomparably excited expression. The auras around the experts from the skeleton clan also became somewhat berserk. Their eyes turned red, and the tribulation seeds emitted incomparably strange fluctuations. Immediately, they began to roar in anger. Roar, roar, roar. Their roars shook the heavens and the earth. They rushed towards the rainbow bridge as if they had gone mad. Rumble. In an instant, a fierce battle broke out. After all, the rainbow bridge was very narrow. It looked like it could only fit one person. All the skeleton experts wanted to step onto the rainbow bridge to pick the red spider lily. Naturally, there was an intense battle. The golden skeletons, diamond skeletons, and purple gold skeleton kings all started a fierce battle. The golden skeletons were basically cannon fodder. Although their strength was not bad, there were too many experts here. Suddenly, a large number of golden skeletons were turned into dust. They were killed, and the calamity seeds danced in all directions. They were dazzling like fireflies. Although the platinum skeletons had the ability to protect themselves, they were still no match for the purple gold skeleton kings. Many of them died at the hands of the purple gold skeleton kings. Only a small number of them managed to escape. However, they still could not get close to the rainbow bridge. The real intense battle was between the purple gold skeleton kings. Their strength was extremely terrifying. No matter if it was speed, strength, or defense, they were all extremely powerful. Moreover, their bodies were often more than 100 feet tall. Every time they collided, it was like a volcanic eruption, causing the earth to tremble and the void to vibrate. The red spider lily has appeared. Everyone formed the 5 elements yin-yang divine dragon formation and kill. Li Chengyan, Pangofeng, and Mu Yuanxing roared and rushed out of the mountain range towards the river of forgetfulness like ferocious tigers. Rumble. There were a total of 30 half-saints from the 3 clans. All of them were chanting as they charged toward the skeleton tribe experts, exuding powerful auras. Roar. The dragon's roar shook the heavens. The rainbow divine dragon that was tens of thousands of feet long was vivid and lifelike, exuding an incomparably powerful dragon's might. It was unstoppable, and its strength was incomparably terrifying. With Li Chengyan personally overseeing the battle, in addition to Pangofeng, Mu Yuanxing, and other half-saints, this rainbow divine dragon possessed strength comparable to a 9-star purple gold skeleton king. Rumble. As the 7-colored divine dragon swept across, large swathes of skeleton clan experts were instantly killed. Whether it was the golden skeletons, the platinum skeletons, or even some of the weaker purple gold skeleton kings, they were all directly crushed and turned into dust. The tribulation seeds in their eyes drifted out, and were swallowed into the belly of the rainbow divine dragon. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the center of the formation, protected by everyone. The tribulation seeds that were swallowed by the rainbow divine dragon turned into streams of light, and were absorbed by Ling Xiao's tribulation seeds. Ling Xiao's aura grew stronger and stronger. The purple skeleton on his body was crystal clear, flowing with powerful energy fluctuations. He was like a bottomless pit, swallowing all the tribulation seeds that came his way. The human race actually dares to snatch the red spider lily? They don't know the meaning of death. Kill them. A 9-star purple gold skeleton king exuded a terrifying aura, exuding a cold killing intent as he roared. Then he took the lead and charged toward the rainbow divine dragon. Rumble. Heaven and earth shook. The 9-star purple gold skeleton king had a huge spear in his hand. It collapsed like a heavenly pillar, and he swung it at the rainbow divine dragon. Roar. The rainbow divine dragon roared angrily, and the dragon's aura gushed out. The huge dragon's aura collided with the spear, and the spear was sent flying. Swoosh. 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 Just at this moment, a few more purple gold skeleton kings with powerful auras rushed over, wanting to kill these humans once and for all. However, the 5 elements yin-yang divine dragon formation was very mysterious. Under Li Qingyun's control, it constantly devoured the vast death energy around it. The 7-colored divine dragon could control the 5 elements yin-yang power. Although it was fighting against the purple gold skeleton kings alone, it was not at a disadvantage. It's Long Out Tian? At this moment, Zhan Tianxing also discovered the aura of Ling Xiao and the others. You actually colluded with the remnants of Pangu village, Fengshui village and Tomb King village. You really don't know what's good for you. Zhan Tianxing sneered, and a sharp killing intent radiated from him. Master, are we going to kill them? Zhan Yi and the others asked. No hurry. This Long Out Yin can attract everyone's attention for us. Follow me onto the Rainbow Bridge and get the red spider lily first. Zhan Tianxing said coldly. Whoosh! He leaped into the sky, and a terrifying aura radiated from his body. With a huge bone sword in his hand, he slashed down at the skeleton tribe experts near the Rainbow Bridge. Boom! The heavens and earth shook, and a huge sword radiance traversed tens of thousands of feet. It directly split a few purple gold skeleton kings near the Rainbow Bridge in half. Then, like a purple ray of light, he landed on the Rainbow Bridge directly. Stop them! By time for master! Zhan Yi and the others roared. The 9 purple gold skeleton kings followed Zhan Tianxing's footsteps closely. They stood in front of the Rainbow Bridge and began to block the skeleton tribe experts that were swarming over. Zhan Tianxing? At this moment, Ling Xiao also noticed Zhan Tianxing. He also saw that Zhan Tianxing had already stepped onto the Rainbow Bridge and was rushing towards the red spider lily. This Zhan Tianxing has already reached the level of a 9-star purple gold skeleton king, as expected of the bloodline of the war tribe. He is blessed by the heavens. However, if you want to get the red spider lily, I'm afraid you're mistaken, Ling Xiao said calmly. His calamity seed had a strange aura, as though it could see through the red spider lily. Chapter 1671. Kill. Pang Gufeng and Mu Yuanxing roared at the same time and charged out of the battle formation. One of them held a mountain-splitting axe, while the other held a long rod. Taking advantage of the fact that the rainbow mystical dragon had forced the 2 purple gold skeleton kings back, they sealed off their escape route and shattered their skeletons. Whether it was the mountain-splitting axe in Pang Gufeng's hand or the long rod in Mu Yuanxing's hand, they were all supreme treasures. The purple gold skeleton kings' bodies were originally extremely sturdy, but they were unable to withstand the power of these 2 supreme treasures and were killed instantly. The 2 purple gold skeleton kings were 6-star elites. Their calamity seeds were like dazzling suns. They were caught by Ling Xiao in an instant and were devoured directly. Rumble. Ling Xiao's aura was extremely terrifying. He was originally at the peak of 4-star, but now he had broken through to 5-star. With the heaven-devouring secret technique and the body and talent of the skeleton race, breaking through was as easy as eating and drinking for Ling Xiao. There were no bottlenecks at all. All of you must die. The 9-star purple gold skeleton king was enraged. He had never thought that Pang Gufeng and Mu Yuanxing would be able to kill 2 purple gold skeleton kings right under his nose. Boom, boom, boom. His attacks became more and more violent. Pang Gufeng and Mu Yuanxing were not afraid at all. Wielding the mountain-splitting axe and long rod, they engaged in an intense battle with the 9-star purple gold skeleton king. As for Zhan Tianxing, just as he was about to reach for the red spider lily, he suddenly felt a sense of danger. He did not even hesitate and wanted to leap into the sky. Rumble. At this moment, the rainbow bridge broke apart, and the red spider lily disappeared. In front of Zhang Tianxing was a demonic beast that looked like a fish with a bloody mouth. Its scales were as black as ink, and it gave off a terrifying aura as it bit towards Zhang Tianxing. Bang! Zhang Tianxing punched out, his fist imprint containing the power to destroy everything. It landed on the body of the demonic fish, but Zhang Tianxing could not help but tremble. He felt a powerful devouring force coming towards him, trying to pull him down from the sky. The demonic fish's power was so terrifying that even Zhang Tianxing was wary of it. The most important thing was that the water in the river of forgetfulness was extremely poisonous. Even Zhang Tianxing did not dare to step into it. Zhang Tianxing's body rose up, and the aura around him grew stronger. He broke free of the demonic fish's devouring force, and flew towards the river of forgetfulness. At this moment, the skeletons who had set foot on the rainbow bridge were not so lucky. They all fell into the river of forgetfulness and were swept away by the waves, disappearing in an instant. Damn it! Zhang Tianxing felt extremely aggrieved. He had never thought that he would be tricked by a fish demon. Buzz. At this moment, everyone finally saw it clearly. Beside the demonic fish, there was a 9-colored flower floating. It gave off a mysterious aura of life and death. It shone brightly. That was the real red spider lily. However, the red spider lily had not fully bloomed yet. The demonic fish had used the aura of the red spider lily to deceive everyone, and almost devoured Zhang Tianxing. Everyone knew that the demonic fish was probably the demonic beast guarding the red spider lily. Roar! The demonic fish leaped out of the river of forgetfulness. Everyone could see the demonic fish's appearance clearly. Its body was as black as ink, covered in menacing scales. It had the head of a fish and the body of a human. Bone spikes protruded from its back, and its eyes were blood-red like willow, the wisps. It let out an ear-piercing roar, causing everyone who heard it to tremble and lose their balance. Its aura was extremely powerful. It was no weaker than the 9-star purple gold skeleton king. Most importantly, this fish demon had the advantage of being in the river of forgetfulness. It could wait at ease for an exhausted enemy. No one dared to enter the river of forgetfulness to fight with it, let alone snatch the red spider lily. Zhang Tianxing looked at the red spider lily behind the demonic fish. It was already showing signs of blooming. If it fully bloomed, it would most likely be devoured by the demonic fish. Zhang Tianxing started to panic. Didn't he put in so much effort to obtain the red spider lily? If the red spider lily was devoured by the demonic fish, then all his efforts would be wasted. Rumble. At that moment, the heavens and earth trembled. Beams of dazzling light descended. The sky seemed to have split open. A mysterious aura that caused everyone to tremble spread. An extremely old figure walked down from the sky. It was an old man with wrinkles all over his face. He wore a luxurious dragon robe and was surrounded by a deathly aura. His life force was extremely weak, but his strength was very strong. In an instant, he intimidated all the experts of the skeleton race. Divine Firmament King? Zhang Tianxing's body trembled. He recognized this old man. The leader of the 9 titled skeleton kings, the Divine Firmament King. After the Divine Firmament King appeared, he only glanced at everyone indifferently. His expression was very indifferent. It was as if he was looking at a group of ants. Finally, his gaze landed on the demonic fish. Evil creature, hand over the red spider lily. I'll spare your life. The Divine Firmament King said coldly. His blood-red eyes were filled with killing intent. You think you can obtain the red spider lily? Come and fight me if you can. Who would have thought that the demonic fish also had intelligence? It emitted a powerful mental wave. Everyone instantly understood the demonic fish's intentions. The demonic fish was not afraid of the Divine Firmament King at all. It wanted to fight him. You don't know your place. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. The Divine Firmament King's voice boomed like thunder. It contained a powerful energy fluctuation. Killing intent flashed in his eyes. He instantly slammed his palm down on the demonic fish. Crack. Purple lightning rose from the Divine Firmament King's palm. It contained a vast destructive power. It enveloped the river of forgetfulness. He wanted to completely kill the demonic fish. This is the divine firmament destructive lightning Tao? At that moment, Ling Xiao and Zhang Tianqing could not help but tremble. They recognized the martial art that the divine firmament king had used. It was actually the divine firmament destructive lightning Tao. Divine firmament king. The so-called 9 titled skeleton kings are indeed related to Master. It seems that if we want to control the cyclic sky seal, it will fall on them. Ling Xiao thought to himself. He had finally confirmed his guess. Chapter 1672. Rumble. Heaven and earth trembled as dazzling light flashed. The divine firmament king controlled the power of lightning, and his body was filled with boundless blood energy. It was as though he could control life and death, and every strike of his contained immense power. The fish demon relied on the geographical advantage of the river of forgetfulness to control the power of reincarnation, and continued to fight against the divine firmament king. For a moment, it was hard to tell who had the upper hand. Kacha. At this moment, the yin-yang divine dragon formation of the 5 elements suddenly erupted with terrifying divine light. In an instant, 7 divine chains of order soared into the sky, containing the power of the 5 elements and yin-yang. They directly wrapped around the 9-star purple-gold skeleton king. Roar. The dragon roar shook the heaven and earth. The 7-colored divine dragon was like a long snake, coiling around the 9-star purple-gold skeleton king. At the same time, divine light flashed around the 9-star purple-gold skeleton king, striking its body continuously. Now's the time. Pang Gafeng and Mu Yuanqing's eyes lit up. They instantly soared into the sky, and terrifying energy fluctuations erupted from their bodies as they launched a sure-kill attack towards the 9-star purple-gold skeleton king. The mountain-splitting axe shone brightly, containing an unparalleled sharpness. The Tianji pole was invincible, as though it could pierce through the heaven and earth. These 2 supreme treasures were activated by Pang Gafeng and Mu Yuanqing, and suppressed the 9-star purple-gold skeleton king at the same time. Roar! The 9-star purple-gold skeleton king also felt a fatal threat. The purple calamity seed in its eyes shone brightly, and the divine light increased by a few times. It let out an earth-shattering roar, and a deathly divine light storm rose behind it, welcoming the mountain-splitting axe and Tianji pole. Rumble. The heaven and earth trembled, and the void cracked open. Streams of void turbulence swept across the sky, enveloping Pang Gafeng, Mu Yuanqing, and the 9-star purple-gold skeleton king. Terrifying divine light exploded, and Pang Gafeng and Mu Yuanqing were sent flying back. The 9-star purple-gold skeleton king was surrounded by purple flames, and its ferocity was monstrous. It roared towards the sky, and its entire body emitted a monstrous killing intent. Half of its body was completely destroyed, and only the upper half of its body was left. However, its aura was increasingly terrifying as it stared at Pang Gafeng and Mu Yuanqing. Whoosh! However, at this moment, a dazzling fist shot through the air at an extreme speed. It was suffused with a faint chaotic light. In an instant, it erupted with 10 times the power. Before the 9-star purple-gold skeleton king could react, the fist landed on its head. Crack! His head exploded. Even though his skeleton was extremely sturdy, it was still unable to withstand such a terrifying force. Ling Zhao's body glowed with purple light as he used the 5th style of the chaotic 8 styles. His strength increased by 10-fold, allowing him to kill the 9-star purple-gold skeleton king with a single strike. As for the 2 bright purple calamity seeds, they were swallowed by Ling Xiao in one gulp. Rumble. The aura around Ling Zhao's body became more and more terrifying. His bones seemed to be undergoing some kind of strange transformation. Mysterious runes appeared one after another, causing his aura to skyrocket. The power contained within the 9-star purple-gold skeleton king's tribulation seed was too terrifying. 5-star. 6-star. 7-star. In Ling Zhao's eyes, the tribulation seed was as dazzling as the sun. 7 bright stars appeared on it, causing his cultivation to skyrocket. Young Frenlong's breakthrough speed is too fast. It's as simple as eating and drinking. Li Qingyan, Pang Gafeng, and Mu Yuanqing were all stunned. Ordinary experts of the skeleton tribe would need a certain amount of time to increase their cultivation. Even if they could refine the tribulation seed and comprehend the tribulation energy within, how could they be like Ling Xiao, who could increase his cultivation by a few levels so easily? Long Aotian, you deserve to die. The commotion caused by Ling Xiao killing the 9-star purple gold skeleton king and breaking through had alarmed the surrounding experts of the skeleton clan. Even Zhang Tianqing's attention was drawn to Ling Xiao. He was both shocked and furious. He had never expected Ling Xiao's strength to increase so quickly. It made him feel as though he was losing control. Zhang Tianqing's body was enveloped in a layer of blazing killing intent as he charged towards Ling Xiao. Rumble. Ling Xiao also noticed Zhang Tianqing. Purple divine light rose from his body as he threw a punch at Zhang Tianqing. The 6th style of the chaotic 8 styles exploded. Ling Xiao's strength was 12 times that of a 9-star purple gold skeleton king's. He collided with Zhang Tianqing, causing the world to rumble and the void to tremble. Both of them retreated at the same time. Zhang Tianqing, you can come and kill me, but the hurricane lily will probably fall into the divine firmament king's hands. Ling Xiao said calmly. Ha! Zhang Tianqing was slightly shocked. He immediately saw the fish demon in the river of forgetfulness in the distance. It was as though it would die at the hands of the divine firmament king at any time. After all, the divine firmament king had the battle prowess of a sage. Although the fish demon could use the river of forgetfulness to control the power of reincarnation, its true battle prowess was only comparable to a 9-star purple gold skeleton king. Under the divine firmament king's all-out attack, purple lightning shook the void. It contained a power that could destroy everything. The fish demon was about to be killed at any time. Long Aotian, let's kill the divine firmament king together first. Then we'll fight for the hurricane lily based on our own abilities. How about that? Zhang Tianqing looked at Ling Xiao coldly. He could also tell that Ling Xiao was very powerful. He was afraid that he would not be able to kill Ling Xiao in a short time. Although he had some tricks up his sleeve, he still intended to use them on the divine firmament king. He did not intend to use them now. Zhang Tianqing stared at Ling Xiao. He had also decided that if Ling Xiao did not agree, he would kill Ling Xiao first even if the hurricane lily fell into the divine firmament king's hands. For some reason, Zhang Tianqing felt that Long Aotian was the biggest obstacle to him controlling the cyclic sky seal. All right. What ideas do you have? Ling Xiao said calmly and directly agreed. Later, help me stall the divine firmament king for 10 breaths. I'll use a mystic technique to severely injure him. Zhang Tianqing stared at Ling Xiao. He was very vicious. He wanted Ling Xiao to stall the divine firmament king, because he wanted to see Ling Xiao's true battle prowess. If Ling Xiao was not strong enough and died at the divine firmament king's hands, that would be the best. If Ling Xiao could really stall the divine firmament king for 10 breaths, he was confident that he could severely injure, or even kill the divine firmament king. Zhang Tianqing originally thought that Ling Xiao would not agree so easily, and was about to use some other methods. Unexpectedly, Ling Xiao nodded and said, 10 breaths? No problem. Although Zhang Tianqing was shocked, he still looked deeply at Ling Xiao and said, all right. Once the fish demon is dead, you will attack. Rumble. Purple divine light rose from Zhang Tianqing's body. The rainbow blood pearl at his heart started beating like a real heart. It exuded a majestic vitality that filled Zhang Tianqing's entire body. Chapter 1673. Rumble. The divine firmament king's palm came crashing down. The terrifying palm print contained blazing lightning. The fish demon roared furiously as it sensed the threat hidden in the palm print. It wanted to escape back into the river of forgetfulness without hesitation. However, a mysterious force froze it in the void. The fish demon's eyes were filled with terror. It could not even roar before it was smashed into dust by the divine firmament king's palm. At that moment, Zhang Tianqing's terrifying killing intent locked onto the divine firmament king. Oh, you're courting death. The divine firmament king's eyes were extremely cold. He actually felt a sense of unease from Zhang Tianqing. Without hesitation, he controlled the lightning in the sky and charged toward Zhang Tianqing. Stop him. I need 10 breaths. Zhan Tianxing roared. His hands started forming seals rapidly as blood-red light rose around him. He exuded a very strange aura. Half of him was filled with the aura of death, while the other half was filled with vitality. They seemed to be trying their best to merge into one. However, if one could comprehend the cycle of life and death, they would naturally be able to become a sage. Zhan Tianxing naturally had not comprehended the cycle of life and death. He only wanted to use this power to cause as much damage as possible. Leave it to me. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a hint of seriousness as terrifying power rose around him. He directly used the sixth style of the chaotic 8 styles. His strength increased by 12 times, causing his fist to have an extremely terrifying energy fluctuation. Rumble. Ling Xiao and the Divine Firmament King collided. Instantly, a sky full of lightning descended. Death and vitality intertwined. The chaotic power of reincarnation seemed to want to turn everything into dust. Ling Xiao instantly felt the terrifying power from the Divine Firmament King. It was like a brilliant heavenly might that he could not resist. Crack. One of Ling Xiao's arms was blasted into smithereens, and he was sent flying by the Divine Firmament King. Blazing lightning enveloped him. If not for his strong bones, he would have been completely shattered. And die. The Divine Firmament King said coldly. He did not even look at Ling Xiao as he was about to attack Zhan Tianxing. Rumble. At that moment, Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness flashed with a dazzling light. Instantly, the heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet flew out and expanded in the sky. It was like an immemorial mountain, crashing down on King Divine Firmament. When Ling Xiao broke through to the purple gold skeleton king realm, he finally broke the seal on the wordless heavenly book. Ling Xiao had previously hidden the heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet in the wordless heavenly book. Hence, he could completely summon this supreme holy treasure. This brat is indeed not ordinary. To actually be able to bring in a flawless holy treasure? Zhan Tianxing's eyes flashed. The light between his hands grew brighter and brighter. As the rainbow blood droplet's power was depleted, a ray of primordial light that could illuminate 3,000 worlds appeared in his palms. For the red spider lily, I'll do it. However, Long Outyin, so what if you have a perfect holy artifact? You are still no match for the Divine Firmament King. Zhan Tianxing sneered in his heart. He was planning to attack after Ling Xiao was severely injured by the Divine Firmament King. He did not think that Ling Xiao could withstand more than a few moves from the Divine Firmament King. A flawless holy artifact? This treasure is not bad. I will gladly accept it. The Divine Firmament King's eyes also lit up, revealing a blazing light. He punched at the heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet. Crack. The void trembled, and cracks appeared. The heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet trembled violently, and was instantly sent flying. The Divine Firmament King's battle prowess was comparable to a sage's. Even a flawless holy artifact was no match for him. However, the heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet's power was extremely terrifying. It caused the Divine Firmament King to tremble, and involuntarily take a few steps back. Kill. Ling Zhao's aura became more and more terrifying. He roared and directly soared into the sky. He grabbed the huge heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet, and once again used the power of the chaotic 8 styles to suppress the Divine Firmament King. 6 breaths had already passed, but Zhan Tianxing still did not show any signs of attacking. Ling Xiao sneered in his heart. He had already guessed Zhan Tianxing's plan. Rumble. Lightning flashed behind the Divine Firmament King. The purple lightning was as thick as a mountain. As he slammed his palm down on the heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet again, Ling Zhao's other arm also exploded. He was sent flying, and his aura became extremely weak. Scram. The Divine Firmament King roared coldly. Then he stomped down like a celestial Thearch's foot, wanting to shatter the earth. His aura was monstrous as he stomped on the heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet. Instantly, Ling Xiao and the heavenly Tao Primal Chaos Tablet both stepped into the river of forgetfulness. Huge waves surged into the sky, and the divine light was dazzling. The scene was extremely shocking. Meanwhile, the Divine Firmament King charged toward Zhan Tianxing. Even if that Long Outyin is not dead, he should be severely injured, right? After entering the river of forgetfulness, anyone below the title of Skeleton King will definitely die. The hurricane lily is destined to be mine. Zhang Tianqing muttered to himself coldly. In an instant, the dazzling Genesis light between his hands bloomed and shot toward the divine firmament king. Instantly, halos appeared in the sky, filled with the power of life and death. It was as if they were going to pull the divine firmament king into the cycle of reincarnation. What? The divine firmament king was both shocked and furious. His eyes were filled with disbelief as he roared continuously. He felt as if he had sunk into mud. That mysterious light was sucking away the vitality in his body, making him feel like he was about to die. After all, the divine firmament king did not have much time left. This time he was snatching the hurricane lily to prolong his life. However, Zhang Tianqing actually had such means to suck away the vitality and lifespan in his body. This made the divine firmament king's expression change drastically. Terrifying sage aura spread out from his body, and in an instant, an extremely powerful force erupted. He wanted to break through that strange halo and escape from it. Divine firmament king. Just die obediently. Zhang Tianqing sneered. His lips curled into a cruel smile. He instantly activated the rainbow blood bead in his heart, causing the mysterious halo to burn even brighter. It was as if it was going to imprison the divine firmament king within it. The rainbow blood pearl's power gradually dimmed, and also became smaller. Although Zhang Tianqing was extremely pained, he also knew that in order to obtain the hurricane lily, he had to pay the price. Rumble. At that moment, the hurricane lily completely bloomed. Chapter 1674. All the powerful beings of the skeleton race went crazy at that moment. Blazing light shot out from their eyes, and the aura around them became extremely terrifying. They let out angry roars and charged into the river of forgetfulness, as if they had gone mad. It was as if the hurricane lily had a fatal attraction to them. The hurricane lily is mine. Zhang Tianqing's eyes were blazing. He exuded a terrifying aura as he charged towards the red spider lily. Now that the divine firmament king was trapped, the fish demon had been killed, and Ling Xiao had fallen into the river of forgetfulness, no one could compete with Zhang Tianqing for the hurricane lily. He neared the hurricane lily, and saw that mysterious flower emitting 9-colored light. It was almost within his reach. Zhang Tianqing's eyes shone with a hint of intoxication as he reached out to grab the hurricane lily. Buzz. But at that moment, the hurricane lily trembled slightly. Zhang Tianqing saw a purple palm reach out from the river of forgetfulness, grab the hurricane lily, and pull it into the river of forgetfulness. No! Zhang Tianqing roared, his eyes filled with madness and terrifying killing intent. He slammed his palm into the river of forgetfulness. Rumble! Heaven and earth trembled as the river of forgetfulness exploded. Huge waves surged into the sky, but the hurricane lily was nowhere to be seen. Long Outyan. I know it's you. I will not let you off. I will make you beg for death. Ah! Zhang Tianqing's voice was filled with endless killing intent and indignation. He was about to go crazy. His voice was like thunder, causing the river water to explode. Crack! At that moment, the divine firmament king's terrifying sage aura exploded. He broke free from the blazing halo, his eyes filled with cold killing intent as he charged toward Zhang Tianqing. Zhang Tianqing's expression changed. He could feel the divine firmament king's insane killing intent, and instantly felt that something was amiss. He could not be bothered to find trouble with Ling Xiao. Instead, he instantly transformed into a stream of light, and flew into the distance. I want to see who dares to snatch my hurricane lily. The divine firmament king did not chase after Zhang Tianqing. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he plunged into the river of forgetfulness, searching for the hurricane lily's aura. Just now, was it Long Outyan who snatched the hurricane lily? Li Qingyan, Pang Gafeng, and Mu Yuanxing looked at each other. Previously, when Ling Xiao had been kicked into the river of forgetfulness by the divine firmament king, they had all been extremely anxious. After all, the river of forgetfulness contained the power of the samsara of life and death. Only the 9 titled skeleton kings could enter it safely. Even a 9-star purple gold skeleton king would be reduced to nothingness after entering it. That was why Zhang Tianxing was so mad and indignant when the red spider lily disappeared. Even he didn't dare to rush into the river of forgetfulness. He could only watch as the red spider lily was snatched away before his eyes. Pangofeng was shocked and worried. The Divine Firmament King was extremely powerful, and he was the leader of the 9 titled Skeleton Kings. It was only because he was nearing the end of his lifespan that he came today to fight for the Hurricane Lily. He would definitely not watch as the Hurricane Lily fell into Ling Zhao's hands. Let's hope Long Outyin will be blessed, Mu Yuanqing said with a wry smile. Long Outyin is someone with great luck and fortuitous opportunities. He will not die so easily. We should not stay here for long. Let's return to Fengshui village first, Li Qingyan said slowly. With the disappearance of the Hurricane Lily, the skeleton race elites seemed to be on the verge of going berserk. It was easy to imagine that a huge battle was about to break out. And if they, the humans, stayed here, they would most likely become the target of public criticism. Li Qingyan, Pangofeng, and Mu Yuanqing led the elites of the 3 races and quickly retreated from the River of Forgetfulness, heading for Fengshui village. Rumble. Sure enough, not long after they left, the experts of the Skeleton Clan started a fierce and chaotic battle. In the River of Forgetfulness, Ling Zhao's entire body was enveloped by a layer of mysterious light. His purple bones had already recovered to their original state. The Permetha flower was held in his hand, and it contained a power that was fluctuating between life and death and the cycle of reincarnation. Is this the Hurricane Lily? I finally got it. Ling Zhao sighed softly, a trace of excitement in his eyes. He and Zhang Tianxing had been scheming against each other previously. He knew that Zhang Tianxing wanted him to fight for 10 breaths of time, so that he and the Divine Firmament King would both be injured. Or rather, he wanted him to die at the hands of the Divine Firmament King. Ling Zhao had played along. After revealing some of his trump cards, he had pretended to be exhausted and injured, allowing the Divine Firmament King to beat him into the River of Forgetfulness. The River of Forgetfulness's water could corrode everything, but Ling Zhao could use the power of the wordless heavenly book to temporarily protect his bones, so that he would not melt into the River of Forgetfulness. When the red spider lily was in full bloom, Ling Zhao silently snatched the red spider lily away and fled, leaving behind Zhang Tianxing, who was about to go crazy. It could be said that Ling Zhao had tricked Zhang Tianxing. The Hurricane Lily involves the secret of breaking through to the titled Skeleton King. I'm already halfway there. I have to refine the Hurricane Lily as soon as possible, then find the 9 titled Skeleton Kings, and obtain the secret of controlling the cyclic sky seal from them. Ling Zhao thought to himself as he held the Hurricane Lily. Swoosh! But at that moment, the River of Forgetfulness's water surged violently. An extremely terrifying aura rapidly approached, exuding a vast sage aura. Oh no! Looks like Zhang Tianxing did not kill the Divine Firmament King. Ling Zhao's body trembled. He grabbed the Hurricane Lily and sneaked into the depths of the River of Forgetfulness. Inheritor, hand over the Hurricane Lily in your hand. Not only will I spare your life, but I will also bestow upon you a great fortuitous opportunity. If you dare to disobey my orders, you will die a terrible death. The Divine Firmament King's voice came from behind. It was cold and murderous. Ling Zhao did not reply at all and continued forward. Rumble. However, the Divine Firmament King's speed was extremely fast. He was like a fish in water in the River of Forgetfulness. The water on both sides quickly parted, and he quickly arrived behind Ling Zhao. Then he slammed his palm toward Ling Zhao. Blazing lightning flashed. The purple heaven divine lightning contained the power to destroy everything. In the Divine Firmament King's hand, the Divine Firmament destructive lightning Dao exploded with an extremely powerful force, enveloping Ling Zhao in front. Whoosh! The heavenly Dao chaotic tablet was taken out by Ling Zhao. In an instant, it split into 9 pieces, shining with unparalleled light. It protected Ling Zhao's body and blocked the Divine Firmament King's palm. Those lightning flashes were blocked by the heavenly Dao chaotic tablet, but the unparalleled force of the palm still sent Ling Zhao flying. What a powerful force! Chapter 1675. Rumble. Ling Xiao borrowed the power of the Divine Firmament King's palm strike and flew a distance away. However, the Divine Firmament King's speed was too fast. He had the battle prowess of a sage and could suppress Ling Xiao in all aspects. If this continued, Ling Xiao would be doomed. Divine Firmament King, if you dare to attack me again, do you believe that I will swallow the Hurricane Lily? Ling Xiao said coldly as he grabbed the Hurricane Lily. Swallow the Hurricane Lily? With your current cultivation level, you're courting death if you dare to swallow the Hurricane Lily. Besides, if you dare to swallow the Hurricane Lily, I'll just refine you. The Hurricane Lily's medicinal power won't be lost much. Kid, if you don't want to die, hand it over obediently. The Divine Firmament King said coldly as his aura became more and more terrifying. Although he said that he was not afraid of Ling Xiao swallowing the Hurricane Lily, Ling Xiao could tell that the Divine Firmament King did not want to force him too much. He probably did not want him to swallow the Hurricane Lily. Is that so? Ling Xiao smiled coldly as he grabbed the Hurricane Lily. His glabella shone brightly as he activated the sky-devouring mystic technique. It turned into a blazing vortex and swallowed the Hurricane Lily in an instant. Rumble. A vast and terrifying force surged into Ling Xiao's body like a tsunami. It was terrifying beyond compare, as if it was going to burst Ling Xiao. Even his bones were making crackling sounds. You! How dare you swallow the Hurricane Lily? Damn it! I'll definitely kill you. The Divine Firmament King's eyes were filled with disbelief. He did not expect Ling Xiao to swallow the Hurricane Lily right in front of him. Moreover, he could feel the vast medicinal power of the Hurricane Lily exploding in Ling Xiao's body, causing Ling Xiao's aura to skyrocket. Rumble. 8-star Purple Gold Skeleton King. In just a moment, Ling Xiao's cultivation level rose from 7 stars to 8 stars, and it was still rising. The Divine Firmament King was completely enraged. Lightning flashed around his body, and an ancient purple sword appeared in his hand. It was blazing and vast. In an instant, it moved horizontally and horizontally, slashing towards Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao could feel that the ancient purple sword in the Divine Firmament King's hand was also a flawless sage treasure. Clearly, the Divine Firmament King was completely enraged. He did not hesitate to use a flawless sage treasure to kill Ling Xiao. Rumble. Ling Xiao felt a fatal danger, and did not hesitate to send the 9 primal chaos tablets out. The tablets shown Divine Firmament King formed the Divine Firmament Primal Chaos King Xiao. They formed a mysterious connection with each other, as they clashed with the ancient Purple Gold Firmament King. However, the Divine Firmament King's strength was too terrifying. Every collision caused Ling Xiao's body to tremble violently. Unparalleled divine power assaulted him, almost causing his entire body to shatter. However, as the power of the red spider lily bloomed in Ling Xiao's body, Ling Xiao's cultivation level began to rise rapidly. Very quickly he broke through to the limit of 8 stars. 9-star Purple Gold Skeleton King. 1 red spider lily had caused Ling Xiao's strength to soar. He had reached the 9-star Purple Gold Skeleton King realm, and it was still rising. Ling Xiao could feel that the red spider lily contained the power of the Tao of Death. It formed a mysterious fluctuation with the vast vitality in his body. It was like the aura of the cycle of life and death. Kacha. In Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, there seemed to be some kind of energy blooming. A mysterious and ethereal rune floated up, containing a profound and mysterious light, completely absorbing the vast amount of energy from the Permetha flower. This is the art of reversing fate. Ling Xiao's body shook. He couldn't believe it. He didn't think that the fate-reversing art would break out at this time. The obscure and mysterious scripture fused with his sea of knowledge, and even his body. A mysterious aura of fate and reincarnation reverberated from Ling Xiao's body. The 4th move of the art of reversing fate, reversing reincarnation. In Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, there seemed to be the sound of a great bell ringing. It was also like the brilliant sound of the heavenly emperor. Suddenly, a mysterious scripture appeared, and Ling Xiao was able to master it in an instant. Ling Xiao had only learned 3 moves of the art of reversing fate: shatter fate, burn life, and defy fate. But he did not expect that after Ling Xiao devoured and refined the red spider lily, he would learn the 4th move of the art of reversing fate, reverse reincarnation. This move was mysterious. It was as if it could reverse life and death, break the cycle of reincarnation, and cause billions of lives in the world to reincarnate under this move. It was terrifying. Buzz. Mysterious runes flashed in Ling Xiao's palms, and his body exuded an ethereal and mysterious aura. Then he pushed his palms forward, and a mysterious and vast world of 3,000 Daos appeared behind him. The cycle of life and death turned into a mysterious light, enveloping King Divine Firmament. This is Master's aura? Who are you? The Divine Firmament King was completely shocked. His eyes were filled with disbelief. The dazzling light enveloped him, causing the Divine Firmament King's soul to leave his body. A mysterious mark appeared between his eyebrows. At that moment, it became dazzling and intertwined with the light, forming a mysterious millstone. The Divine Firmament King's scalp went numb. He felt as long as the millstone spun, he would be completely destroyed. There was no way he could resist at all. Master's aura. You mean Scarlet Dragon War God? Ling Xiao looked at the Divine Firmament King indifferently. The aura around him became even more mysterious and unfathomable. That's right. It's the Great Heavenly Venerable. He is the master of the cyclic sky seal, and the master of the 9 of us. Why do you have Master's aura? Seeing Ling Xiao stop, the Divine Firmament King heaved a sigh of relief. Scarlet Dragon War God is my master, Ling Xiao said indifferently. The Divine Firmament King's body trembled. A bitter smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. As expected, 1,000,000 years have passed. Although Master has not returned, his successor has. Greetings, young Master. The Divine Firmament King kowtowed deeply to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao could see that there was a dragon-shaped mark between the Divine Firmament King's eyebrows. Ling Xiao could control the Divine Firmament King's mark with the 4th move of the fate-reversing art, and control his life and death. As long as Ling Xiao willed it, the Divine Firmament King would be completely destroyed. I see. The 4th move of the fate-reversing art is the key to controlling the 9 titled Skeleton Kings? Ling Xiao thought to himself. It turned out that the fate-reversing art he had obtained was not complete. There was still a 4th move hidden in the Hurricane Lily. Only by obtaining the Hurricane Lily could the fate-reversing art be complete, and control the Divine Firmament King's life and death. The Divine Firmament King was probably unwilling to accept it, but now that the situation had reversed and his life was in Ling Xiao's hands, he could only bow his head and obey. Chapter 1676. Ling Xiao's primordial spirit and the wordless book had been sealed in the Tribulation Seed. When Ling Xiao broke through to the purple gold Skeleton King realm, he had broken the seal. That was why he could use the power of the wordless book and the heavenly Tao chaotic tablet. And now, after fusing with the Hurricane Lily, the vast Death Tao origin had fused with Ling Xiao's primordial spirit. At the same time, Ling Xiao had completely obtained the fate-reversing technique sealed in the Hurricane Lily. Originally, Ling Xiao had felt that the fate-reversing technique was difficult to understand and extremely difficult to cultivate. He also had to pay a huge price to use it. But with the completion of the 4th move, Reverse Samsara, the 4 moves of the fate-reversing technique seemed to have formed a complete and balanced state. This allowed Ling Xiao's understanding of the fate-reversing technique to increase by leaps and bounds. Ling Xiao now realized how vast and profound the fate-reversing technique was. What he had previously comprehended was only the tip of the iceberg. That was why he had to pay such a huge price to forcefully activate the fate-reversing technique. And the dragon mark between the Divine Firmament King's brows was left behind by the Scarlet Dragon War God. Using the fate-reversing technique, he could control the Divine Firmament King's life and death. If Ling Xiao guessed correctly, the other 8 kings probably also had the mark left behind by the Scarlet Dragon War God. So my greatest advantage is actually the fate-reversing technique. Ling Xiao thought to himself. The Scarlet Dragon War God had not mentioned controlling the cyclic sky seal, because he had not obtained the 4th move of the fate-reversing technique. The 4th move of the fate-reversing technique could kill sages. After all, even sages could not escape the cycle of life and death. They were still under the heavenly Tao and could not transcend. Young Master, You entered the cyclic sky seal this time to control it, right? Asked the Divine Firmament King. That's right. Do you know how to control the cyclic sky seal? Asked Ling Xiao calmly. Young master, the cyclic sky seal's artifact spirit is second heavenly venerable. Now that second heavenly venerable has disappeared, the 9 titled skeleton kings can also control part of the cyclic sky seal's power. As long as the 9 titled skeleton kings submit and open the fate reversing palace, you will naturally be able to control of the cyclic sky seal. However, I'm afraid the other 8 kings will not be willing to submit to you just like that, said the Divine Firmament King. Why is that? Don't tell me they don't have the dragon mark? Ling Xiao asked. The red dragon mark was the dragon-shaped mark on the Divine Firmament King's forehead. The Divine Firmament King laughed bitterly and said, Young master, there's something you don't know. Although the crimson dragon mark is very powerful, we 9 great kings possess the power of saints. It's only because my lifespan is nearing its end that I am unable to suppress the crimson dragon mark. However, the other 8 great kings don't have a lifespan limit. They can suppress the crimson dragon mark. If young master wants to rely on the crimson dragon mark to control their life and death, I'm afraid it will be very difficult. It turned out that the 9 titled skeleton kings only had the strength of a 9th revolution half-sage a million years ago. However, the flipping sky seal was not controlled by anyone in the past million years. Moreover, it was devouring the endless energy of heaven and earth on its own, causing the 9 titled skeleton kings' strength to increase continuously. Although they were not in the sage realm, their strength was not weaker than a sage's. As a result, the suppression of the crimson dragon mark on them was naturally very weak. However, the Divine Firmament King was just too unlucky. He was already at the end of his lifespan, and had been severely injured by Zhan Tianxing. Thus, when Ling Xiao awakened the 4th move of the fate-reversing art, he was unable to resist at all. I see. I didn't expect that after a million years, the 9 titled skeleton kings would have such a huge change. Ling Zhao's heart trembled slightly. These 9 titled skeleton kings were comparable to sages. If the Divine Firmament King had not been restrained by the fate-reversing art, he would not have been so willing to submit to Ling Xiao. After all, they were used to being tyrannical in this world. Why would they want another master to appear above them? However, since they were artifact spirits, there were ways to restrain them. Especially now that Ling Xiao had obtained the Hurricane Lily, he could comprehend the death Tao within it. Young master, although everyone knows that you have obtained the Hurricane Lily, they don't know that I have already submitted to you. We can defeat them one by one. Young master, if I can devour all 8 of them, then I can become the new artifact spirit of the flipping sky seal. At that time, I will definitely be able to help master control the flipping sky seal, said the Divine Firmament King respectfully. Very good. Divine Firmament King, as long as you are loyal to me, after killing the 8 of them, you will be the new artifact spirit of the flipping sky seal. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Master, don't worry. I will be loyal to you. I will not hesitate to die. The Divine Firmament King quickly knelt down to show his loyalty. Master, this Divine Firmament King is dishonest. I don't think he wants to submit to you. He wants to devour the other 8 titled skeleton kings and control the flipping sky seal. At that moment, the Thunder Spirit King's voice rang in Ling Zhao's mind. How can I not think of that? However, let's ignore him for now. Let's capture the other 8 titled skeleton kings first. Thunder Spirit King, you are an artifact spirit. Even if you possess a physical body, it will be extremely difficult for you to become a sage. Even if you are lucky enough to succeed, I'm afraid you will not be able to improve for the rest of your life. There is a very good opportunity now. Perhaps you can become a dragon in the sea and have a limitless future. Are you willing to give it a try? Ling Xiao said to the Thunder Spirit King secretly. Master is saying, to become an artifact spirit? The Thunder Spirit King's eyes lit up, and he instantly became excited. That's right. You also know that it is very difficult to become an artifact spirit as it has a very high requirement for the material of the weapon and the talent of the artifact spirit. However, your talent is strong enough and your future is limitless. I'm afraid you have seen the flipping sky seal. It can form its own world, and its own rules of Tao. This is not something that an ordinary holy treasure can possess. If you become the artifact spirit of the flipping sky seal, your divine path will be smooth. Even becoming an extreme emperor in the future will not be impossible. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Thank you, Master. I am willing to become an artifact spirit. The Thunder Spirit King immediately said excitedly. He was indeed tempted. The flipping sky seal was an ancient treasure. It was at least at the level of a supreme holy treasure. There was even a chance for it to become an extreme emperor weapon. As the artifact spirit of the flipping sky seal, the Thunder Spirit King would definitely be able to advance by leaps and bounds with the flipping sky seal. If he could become the artifact spirit of an extreme emperor weapon, his power would not be inferior to a real great emperor. It could be said that this was a smooth path, even a smooth path to becoming an emperor. One day, if the Thunder Spirit King could break the destiny of being an artifact spirit and reverse the reincarnation of the heavenly Tao, he could even get rid of the restraint of the weapon and become a real peerless great emperor. In the ancient times, there were examples of weapons becoming great emperors. Great. Now let's go and capture the 8 titled skeleton kings, and gather their power to open the fate-reversing palace. As long as the fate-reversing palace is opened, you will be able to devour their power, and become the artifact spirit of the flipping sky seal. Chapter 1677. The Thunder Spirit King was different from the Divine Firmament King. The Divine Firmament King had to obey Ling Xiao's orders because of the red dragon mark between his brows. However, the Thunder Spirit King was completely under Ling Xiao's control. He even left a trace of his true spirit in the wordless book. Even if the Thunder Spirit King became a sage one day, he would not betray Ling Xiao. Thus, letting the Thunder Spirit King become the cyclic sky seal's artifact spirit was the best choice. Ling Xiao did not choose to leave immediately. Instead, he cultivated in seclusion in the river of forgetfulness. The red spider lilies contain the power of the Death Tao origin. However, this world was only the internal space of the cyclic sky seal. The heavenly Tao laws were not complete. It was basically impossible to attain the Tao and become a sage and condense a Tao fruit here. However, Ling Xiao could possess the combat strength of a sage like the 9 titled skeleton kings. Rumble. Heaven and earth trembled. The vast power of reincarnation rose from the river of forgetfulness. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the river of forgetfulness. Mysterious auras intertwined around him, forming mysterious halos behind him. Life, death, withering, and glory. A mysterious concept was emitted from his body. Ling Xiao's aura became more and more terrifying. It had far exceeded the power of the 9-star purple gold skeleton kings. It became more and more unfathomable. Damn it! That Long Outyin dared to snatch my hurricane lily. He really deserves to die. However, the Divine Firmament King has already chased him into the river of forgetfulness. He will not be able to escape from the Divine Firmament King. He will definitely die. Without the hurricane lily, with my current strength, there is no way I can open the core area. In the majestic and ancient palace, Zhan Tianxing sat on a huge throne. His eyes were filled with indignation and anger. He had painstakingly planned to obtain the hurricane lily, and then open the core area to find a way to control the cyclic sky seal. However, now that he had lost the hurricane lily, everything was for naught. Whether it was Ling Xiao or the Divine Firmament King who had obtained the hurricane lily, it was not good news to him. Zhan Tianxing indeed had the bloodline of the battle tribe. The drop of rainbow blood in his heart was the bloodline of the battle tribe. Zhan Tianxing had learned about the secret of the flipping sky seal from his inherited memories. Especially after coming to this world, he understood the mystery and power of the flipping sky seal even more. The heaven flipping seal was not as simple as a holy treasure. Zhan Tianxing wanted to revive the war race, and even take revenge on the culprit who had caused the war race's destruction. He had to get the sky flipping seal. The red spider lily has already been lost. The 9 great kings were fighting their own battles, and it was impossible for them to work together to open the core area. Right now, the only thing we can do is to sacrifice the 7 of them. Then, we will exhaust our battle clan bloodline, and see if we can open that place. Zhang Tianxing thought to himself with a deep gaze. Fortunately, during the chaotic battle at the Wangchuan River, his 7 subordinates had caught Gung Long and Gung Hu, and the people of Fengshui Village, Panga Village, and Tomb King Village were unprepared. Now, apart from Ling Xiao, 7 of the 9 great inheritors had been captured by Zhang Tianxing. There's no time to lose. We need to act quickly, Zhang Tianxing thought to himself as a sharp glint appeared in his eyes. Taishao Sacred Mountain. The mountain was tens of thousands of feet tall, and connected the heavens and the earth. Its aura was majestic and unparalleled, and it was filled with a thick aura of death. It was the cave abode of the Taishao King, one of the 9 great titled skeleton kings. A huge palace was built at the top of Taishao Sacred Mountain. The guards outside the palace were all purple gold skeleton kings. Each of them was hundreds of feet tall, and had an extremely powerful aura. Their bones were sparkling and radiant, and they exuded a monstrous aura of death. Powerful skeleton race elites were everywhere on Taishao Sacred Mountain. The black iron skeletons, bronze skeletons, and silver skeletons were not qualified to set foot on Taishao Sacred Mountain. They could only wander around. The gold skeletons and platinum skeletons were just small soldiers guarding Taishao Sacred Mountain. Only the purple gold skeleton kings were considered generals. The Taishao King had been in seclusion for many years, and his subordinates were still guarding outside loyally. The entire Taishao Sacred Mountain was heavily guarded, and no one dared to barge in. Is this Taishao Sacred Mountain? It is indeed extraordinary. Ling Xiao and the Divine Firmament King stood together in the clouds, looking at the majestic Taishao Sacred Mountain in front of them. That's right. This is the Grand Firmament Sacred Mountain. The Grand Firmament King has been in seclusion for many years. Even the appearance of the red spider lily did not make him come out. Master, this time, we will pretend to be here for a visit. Follow me, and we will catch the Grand Firmament King by surprise. The Divine Firmament King said with a hint of excitement in his eyes. The 9 titled skeleton kings guarded the world of death, but it could be said that they did not trust each other. Moreover, they all wanted to devour each other, and become the only ruler of this world. It was only because the 9 of them were equally powerful that no one could do anything about it. That was why they had maintained this state for so many years. All right. I'll leave it to you, Ling Xiao said calmly. The aura around him became faint, and his bones still emitted a purple light. However, the star between his eyebrows had become a single star. The sky-shrouding secret technique perfectly concealed Ling Xiao's aura. Even the Divine Firmament King could not sense Ling Xiao's true cultivation level and strength. Brother Taishao, the Divine Firmament King is here. Are you still planning to stay in seclusion? The Divine Firmament King's figure appeared in the sky above Taishao Sacred Mountain. His voice exploded like thunder, causing all the skeleton race experts on Taishao Sacred Mountain to tremble involuntarily. They immediately stared at the Divine Firmament King with great vigilance. Rumble. However, when the Divine Firmament King exuded a vast and unparalleled aura, as if he was an invincible king, even the purple gold skeleton king could not help but tremble. It was so frightened that it knelt down. They all knew that one of the 9 greatest rulers of this world had arrived. On Taishao Sacred Mountain, all the skeleton race experts knelt down. This was the suppression of the skeleton race's level. Even the purple gold skeleton king was trembling all over at this moment, exuding waves of fear. Ling Xiao followed behind the Divine Firmament King with a strange look in his eyes. Fortunately, he was a successor and a human, so the so-called level suppression of the skeleton race did not have much effect on him. Otherwise, he would probably be forced to kneel down and submit to the Divine Firmament King without even fighting him. Rumble. On Taishao Sacred Mountain, the huge palace suddenly opened, and a middle-aged man in a yellow Taoist robe walked out. He looked tall and handsome, and a mysterious light flickered in his eyes. It was like the black-yellow chi, mysterious and unfathomable. This was the Divine Firmament King. He cultivated the black-yellow sacred path. Looks like it's really one of the 9 peerless sacred techniques of the War God Temple. Chapter 1678. So it's Brother Divine Firmament. I heard that you went to the River of Forgetfulness to fight for the Hurricane Lily. What brings you to my Grand Firmament Sacred Mountain? The Grand Firmament King smiled faintly as a strange light flashed in his eyes. I came to the Grand Firmament Sacred Mountain because I have something to discuss with Brother Divine Firmament. This time, I did not manage to obtain the Hurricane Lily in the River of Forgetfulness. It was taken by an inheritor. The Divine Firmament King stared at the Grand Firmament King as he spoke slowly. What? An inheritor? What's going on? The Grand Firmament King's expression became serious, and he could not hide the shock in his eyes. It's a long story, but our great calamity is coming. The Divine Firmament King laughed bitterly. Then he landed on the peak of the Grand Firmament Sacred Mountain with the Divine Firmament King. Ling Xiao followed behind the Divine Firmament King. However, he had used the sky-shrouding secret technique, so he was only a one-star purple-gold skeleton king. Even his aura as an inheritor had been concealed, so the Divine Firmament King only looked at him in confusion. What is the great calamity? Brother Divine Firmament, please enlighten me. The Grand Firmament King was indeed attracted by the Divine Firmament King's words. Buzz. The dragon-shaped mark on the Grand Firmament King's forehead emitted a bright light. It was mysterious and unfathomable, causing the Grand Firmament King's expression to change drastically as if he had seen a ghost. You're right. This time, I met an inheritor in the River of Forgetfulness. He took the Hurricane Lily because he is not an ordinary inheritor. He is a true disciple of a great heavenly venerate. In other words, he is our young master. I managed to escape from him with great difficulty, so I immediately rushed to the Grand Firmament Sacred Mountain to discuss this matter with you. The Divine Firmament King said solemnly. A true disciple of a great heavenly venerate? How is this possible? The great heavenly venerate has been missing for millions of years. Over the years, countless inheritors have been wiped out by us. How could a young master appear at this time? Brother Divine Firmament, how strong is that inheritor? Why don't we gather the 9 of you and kill him together? The Grand Firmament King's eyes revealed a cold killing intent. That young master's strength is extremely terrifying. I'm not his match. Most importantly, he can control our Scarlet Dragon mark. Although our strength has greatly improved, and we can temporarily suppress the Scarlet Dragon mark, when we face that young master, we will inevitably be greatly restrained. We must think of a foolproof plan. The Divine Firmament King said seriously. What foolproof plan? Fellow Taoist Divine Firmament, you are the oldest and most knowledgeable. We will listen to you. The Great Firmament King said fearfully. When he mentioned the young master, his mind was in a mess. I killed a successor and obtained a treasure from him. Perhaps it can help us kill that young master. Take a look. The Divine Firmament King smiled. His palm glowed brightly, and an ancient stone tablet floated in the air, exuding an ancient, profound, and mysterious aura. What treasure is this? High Firmament King's eyes were attracted to the stone tablet. He reached out his hand to touch it. Rumble. But at that moment, the stone tablet suddenly trembled and emitted a vast chaotic light. At an extremely fast speed, it directly smashed into the Great Firmament King's body. The Great Firmament King's body was covered in a vast yellow light that contained an unparalleled defensive power. When he sensed danger, he instantly activated it. Divine Firmament, what are you trying to do? The Great Firmament King was shocked and angry as he immediately roared. But the Heavenly Tao Chaotic Tablet was too fast, and it was very close to the Great Firmament King. It directly smashed into his body and shattered the yellow light on his body. Then, the Great Firmament King was smashed to the ground. Buzz. The Heavenly Tao Chaotic Tablet instantly split into 9. The 9 Heavenly Tao Chaotic Tablets intertwined with each other, forming a mysterious and vast array formation that enveloped the Great Firmament King. Rumble. The Divine Firmament King's eyes flashed. He grabbed the ancient purple sword, and lightning crackled around him. Without a word, he launched a thunderous attack toward the Great Firmament King. At the same time, Ling Xiao also made his move. The Chaotic 8 Styles was completely activated by Ling Xiao, and his strength exploded 16 times. Ling Zhao's body exuded a destructive aura as he directly smashed a chaotic fist toward the Great Firmament King. The two of them attacked as fast as lightning, and they were extremely well coordinated. At that moment, the Great Firmament King was smashed to the ground by the Heavenly Tao Chaotic Tablet. The Heavenly Tao Chaotic barrier on his body was broken, and he was trapped by the Heavenly Tao Chaotic Tablet. Under the joint attack of Ling Xiao and the Divine Firmament King, he instantly fell into a disadvantageous position. Boom! Dazzling lightning flashed, and a thick yellow saber appeared in the Great Firmament King's palm. It suddenly collided with the ancient sword in the Divine Firmament King's hand, and at the same time, it released a dazzling divine light. Ling Zhao's fist enveloped the Great Firmament King, and he had no way to block it. He could only use his physical body to withstand it. Crack! A crisp sound rang out as Ling Zhao's fist landed on the Great Firmament King's chest. Instantly, his chest caved in, and his flesh and blood exploded, forming a huge bloody hole. After refining the Hurricane Lily, Ling Zhao's terrifying strength was comparable to the 9 titled Skeleton Kings. At that moment, he used the Chaotic 8 Styles, which pursued the ultimate physical strength, and was incomparably terrifying. Even the Great Firmament King was unable to withstand it. You are that so-called young master? Fellow Divine Firmament, you actually submitted to him? Ha ha ha. I really didn't expect it. The Great Firmament King laughed in anger and roared. Great Firmament, submit. As long as you submit to Master, Master will spare your life. Otherwise, if you continue to resist, only death awaits you. The Divine Firmament King said coldly, but his attacks were getting fiercer and fiercer. The reason why he and Ling Xiao had chosen to attack the Great Firmament King first was that the Great Firmament King had the strongest defense among the 9 titled Skeleton Kings. However, his battle prowess was also the weakest. Furthermore, he had a good relationship with the Divine Firmament King, so he could lower his guard to the greatest extent. Therefore, they used the power of the Heavenly Tao Chaotic Tablet to launch a surprise attack on the Great Firmament King. The Divine Firmament King and Ling Xiao followed closely behind, instantly causing the Great Firmament King to be severely injured. Don't even think about it. I won't submit to anyone. The Great Firmament King roared. You don't know what's good for you. Killing intent flashed in the Divine Firmament King's eyes as he activated his terrifying sage aura. Bolts of lightning intertwined, causing the ancient purple sword in his hand to become even sharper as he continuously attacked the Great Firmament King. Rumble. At that moment, a mysterious and vast aura was emitted from Ling Zhao's body. He had activated the 4th style of the heaven-defying art. In an instant, 3,000 worlds appeared behind him, as if there was a cycle of life and death. An indeterminate aura was released, enveloping the Great Firmament King. Chapter 1679. Roar. It was a crimson divine dragon. It looked lifelike and exuded a powerful dragon's might. A powerful dragon's roar rang out, forming a powerful sealing force that lingered between the Grand Firmament King's eyebrows and extended into his body. The vitality and death aura in his body began to boil violently, becoming extremely chaotic as if his entire body was about to explode. The Grand Firmament King's expression changed drastically, and a trace of unconcealable fear appeared in his eyes. Originally, the Grand Firmament King could seal the Red Dragon mark with his strength. However, after being severely injured by Ling Xiao and the Divine Firmament King, Ling Xiao used the 4th move of the Fate Reversing Art. The Grand Firmament King could no longer seal the Red Dragon mark, and was directly controlled by Ling Xiao. The Grand Firmament King could feel that the Red Dragon mark had been completely activated. If Ling Xiao wanted to kill him, it would only take an instant. I am willing to submit. The Grand Firmament King's eyes were filled with unwillingness, but in the face of the threat of death, he finally chose to submit. Wouldn't it have been better if you had submitted earlier? Then you wouldn't have had to suffer so much. The Divine Firmament King sneered. Buzz. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly as he activated the Fate Reversing Art. A vast amount of energy directly merged with the Red Dragon mark. After the Red Dragon mark was completely activated, the Grand Firmament King could no longer seal it. His life and death were completely in Ling Xiao's hands. Of the 9 titled Skeleton Kings, Ling Xiao had already subdued the Divine Firmament King and the Grand Firmament King. Congratulations, young master. Congratulations, young master. The 9 titled Skeleton Kings will fight their own battles. As long as the news is not leaked, we can defeat them one by one and subdue them all. The Divine Firmament King and the Grand Firmament King knelt before Ling Xiao and flattered him. Let's go. Next. Ling Xiao's eyes also revealed a trace of anticipation. Only by gathering the power of the 9 titled Skeleton Kings could they open the fate-reversing palace. Even the 9 titled Skeleton Kings did not know where the fate-reversing palace was. They only knew that it was the center of this world, and also the core of the cyclic sky seal. The third place was the Azure Firmament King of the Azure Firmament Sacred Mountain, with the Divine Firmament King and the Grand Firmament King, as well as Ling Xiao. The 3 of them subdued the Azure Firmament King without any effort. Next was the Jade Heaven King. When they were at Jade Firmament Sacred Mountain, there was an accident. They did not expect King Jing Xiao to be there. Although Ling Xiao and the others tried their best to capture King Jing Xiao, King Jing Xiao escaped from Jade Firmament Sacred Mountain in desperation. The news was still exposed. The last 5 kings, Bright Sky King, Crimson Sky King, Jade Sky King, Clear Sky King, and Purple Sky King were all completely shocked. They never thought that 4 of the 9 kings would be captured without anyone noticing. In the end, the 5 great kings gathered on top of the Violet Firmament Sacred Mountain. Countless cultivators of the Skeleton Clan gathered together and prepared to fight Ling Xiao and the 4 great kings to the death. Man proposes, God disposes. I didn't think that the news would still leak out. Young master, what should we do next? The Divine Firmament King said helplessly. Let's go back to Feng Shui village first. A divine light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes as he said indifferently. Since the news had already been leaked, Ling Xiao wasn't worried about anything. At most, he would just kill all 5 kings in one fell swoop. After going through a few battles, Ling Xiao didn't care about the remaining 5 kings. However, before the final battle, he still had to make some preparations. When he returned to Feng Shui village, Li Chengyan, Pang Gafeng, and Mu Yuanxing had already gathered the experts of the 3 clans in Feng Shui village. The elites of the 3 clans were all extremely excited and exuded a strong fighting spirit. The news that Ling Xiao had subdued the 4 great kings shocked the entire world of death. Naturally, Li Chengyan and the others also knew about it. Little friend Long, I really didn't expect you to subdue the 4 great kings. It seems that you are the destined master of the flipping sky seal. Li Chengyan sighed softly. Although they had a certain degree of hope for Ling Xiao before, they did not expect Ling Xiao to be able to snatch the red spider lilies from the river of forgetfulness and subdue the Divine Firmament King, Grand Firmament King, Azure Firmament King, and Jade Firmament King in such a short time. When the news came, they were all in disbelief. It was only when Ling Xiao stood in front of them with the 4 great kings that they felt as if they were in a dream. That's right. Little friend Long, we also heard that the remaining 5 great kings have gathered at the Purple Firmament Sacred Mountain and are preparing to resist. We have all decided to go to the Purple Firmament Sacred Mountain with you and capture all the 5 great kings. Pang Gafeng also laughed out loud. Many thanks to the 3 elders. This time, I also want to ask the 3 elders to lend me a hand. As for the remaining 5 kings, they can't die. As long as I can severely injure them, I will be able to subdue them all. Ling Xiao smiled slightly. I'm afraid it won't be an easy task to severely injure all of them. It's not enough to rely on just us, but we can borrow the power of the formation. Li Chengyan pondered for a moment and said slowly, the power of the formation? Elderly, are you talking about the 5 elements Yin-Yang Divine Dragon formation? Ling Xiao asked. The 5 elements Yin-Yang Divine Dragon formation was indeed extraordinary. If they set up the 5 elements Yin-Yang Divine Dragon formation, they should be able to gain the upper hand. Not the 5 elements Yin-Yang Divine Dragon formation. Although the 5 elements Yin-Yang Divine Dragon formation can increase our strength, it is limited. I have the 6 paths of reincarnation formation that was passed down by second Holy Master. It needs 6 people to set up the formation, and it can burst out dozens or even hundreds of times the strength, not to mention severely injuring the 5 kings. Even killing them wouldn't be a difficult task. Li Qingyan said confidently. Second Holy Master passed it down? Isn't that the artifact spirit of the flipping sky seal? Very good. Elderly will teach us how to practice the 6 paths of reincarnation formation, and then we will fight the 5 great kings to death. Ling Zhao's eyes flickered slightly as he nodded. The 6 paths of reincarnation formation contain the power of reincarnation. As long as a living being entered the formation, their vitality would be devoured and they would fall into reincarnation, sinking into it forever. The 6 paths of reincarnation formation required 7 people to set it up. 6 of them would each control a formation, and the 7th person would be the core of the formation. In the end, it was decided that Li Qingyan would be in charge of the core, and Pangafeng, Mu Yuansheng, Divine Firmament King, Great Firmament King, Green Firmament King, and Jade Firmament King would each control a formation to set up the 6 paths of reincarnation formation. Ling Xiao would wait for an opportunity to subdue the 5 great kings. Everyone was talented. Although the 6 paths of reincarnation grand formation was incomparably profound, under the control of Li Qingyan, each of them only mastered one formation. Therefore, they were able to adapt to each other very quickly. In just 1 month, they had already mastered the 6 paths of reincarnation grand formation to the mastery level. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.